Flames erupted from the boy's palm. The black-robed beauty's clothes were burned to ashes, but what was unsportsmanlike was there was actually another layer underneath. However, the beauty at this moment was shocked. A mere fledgling boy at the 4th level of martial body cultivation could actually withstand one of her attacks. The beautiful woman instantly developed a fondness for his talent. She expressed her desire to take the boy to the Hualing Academy for further studies. Hearing this, the boy, "Forgive me for my unrestrained and free-spirited life. I'm not." However, much to the boy's surprise, the beautiful woman did something unspeakable to him. "My name is Qin Yun, the 3rd prince of the current dynasty. I am the 3rd prince of the current dynasty. I should have been enjoying a life of wealth and luxury." However, unexpectedly, Queen Jinlian, in order for her son to obtain the 5 yang spiritual veins from me, resorted to despicable means. They say he intended to assassinate the emperor. He's a violent psychopath. Even prepared dozens of human skeletons underground beforehand. Faced with all this, Qin Yun was completely dumbfounded. What's worse, he implicated the Grand Tutor's sister. Thinking of the kind and beautiful Grand Tutor's sister, Qin Yun felt a sharp pain in his chest. Imprisoned, he watched Miss Yuan, who had come to deliver his meal, and the eunuch with his missing parts. Qin Yun was furious. Miss Yuan was a knave innocent, clueless about anything. Now she was even being used by the 4th prince. At this moment, Qin Yun, I really wanted to spit out blood for dozens of meters. After the two left, Qin Yun immediately activated his cultivation technique. Flames instantly appeared in his hand. He punched out. A large hole instantly appeared in the wall. It turned out that while he was in the prison cell, he had never stopped practicing his cultivation technique. The next day, the 4th prince sent him a final meal, because today was the day they would extract the last of his spiritual veins. Unexpectedly, Qin Yun did not hesitate at all. He picked up a large chicken leg and started gobbling it down. The 4th prince thought he had accepted his fate. Before dying, he wanted to be a glutton. Little did he know that Qin Yun was planning a counterattack. As Qin Yun was pressed onto the altar, 3 elders in white robes took out a golden elixir, saying that the 4th prince should take it first. But at that moment, Qin Yun, who had been dejected, suddenly broke free from his bonds. In the blink of an eye, he appeared before the 4th prince. He snatched the golden pill. Then, with lightning speed, he delivered a kick, sending the 4th prince flying. Watching the 4th prince embedded in the wall by the sheer force, Qin Yun happily swallowed the golden pill. However, an unexpected event occurred the next second. Right after Qin Yun swallowed the golden pill, suddenly I felt a surge of strength. I watched the guards charging towards me. Qin Yun remained. He gathered his strength and struck. He easily disarmed them with his bare hands. Just then, the queen who had caused him to become a prisoner, Jinlian, arrived. Facing his Qin Yun's eyes burned with fury. He declared that if he did not chop this vicious woman to pieces today, he would eat shit on live stream. Saying this, he leaped up, cleaver in hand. At that moment, a figure in a black robe appeared beside the queen. With ease, he seized the cleaver from Qin Yun's grasp. Just when the cloaked figure thought that Qin Yun was nothing special, a flame shot out from Qin Yun's hand, directly burning their clothes to ashes. Qin Yun took one look, and it turned out to be a beautiful woman. Unfortunately, she was wearing another layer underneath. For a moment, the beauty exclaimed that Qin Yun's talent was unparalleled. Then she wanted Qin Yun to leave with her. Adhering to the principle of unyielding bravery, Qin resolutely refused. However, the beauty did not mind at all. Instead, she showed a strange smile. The queen beside them had a face full of black lines. Why is the style so odd? Was not she supposed to take down Qin Yun? At this moment, seeing that Qin Yun did not intend to leave with her, the beauty directly used the golden snake entangling hand. The next second, Qin Yun became a silkworm. The beauty gathered her strength slightly. They whisked Qin Yun away like a flying bird, leaving behind only the queen and 2 bewildered little eunuchs. Meanwhile, Qin Yun, who was taken out of the city, was subjected to the beautiful woman's harassment. Upon inspection, it was discovered that he only had 1 yang spiritual vein left, yet he could still exert such martial power. Truly heaven-sent genius. A beautiful woman overflowing with admiration for talent immediately took him as her disciple. However, Qin Yun said he wanted to go back for revenge. The beauty, upon hearing this, immediately started mocking him, saying that although he was extremely talented, he was currently a complete weakling. Going back for revenge would be suicide. As long as he follows me to study at the Hualing Academy for a few years, by then in this city, no one will be Qin Yun's opponent. He sighed, agreeing to the beauty, but the next second he regretted it, because the beauty actually used the golden snake entwining hand again, dragging Qin Yun, rubbing on the ground, indicating this way is faster. However, at this moment, Qin Yun could not imagine that the wait ahead would be inhuman torture. After the beauty dragged Qin Yun for countless miles, they finally arrived at Hualing Academy. Quick at the gate, he finally learned the beautiful master before him was called Shiyu. However, unexpectedly, Shiyu's class only had 1 student, Qin Yun. Just as he looked puzzled, the 2 of them had already entered the magnificent Hualing Academy. However, as soon as they entered, they ran into Shiyu's nemesis, Kai, who, the moment she saw Shiyu return, she immediately started to taunt her. Did not you go out to find students? Could it be this idiot next to you? Sure enough, your class 9 is becoming more and more hopeless. Shiyu angrily pulled Kinyan over, completely ignoring her basketball, which had already left Kinyan breathless. She boasted about the disciple she had found. Koa listened. I immediately laughed so hard I got 8-pack abs. He pointed to the numerous disciples behind him, indicating that he had a strong and numerous team. He claimed that any one of them could easily defeat this idiot in front of him. At this moment, Shiyu was on the verge of losing it. Fortunately, at that time, the martial soul awakening ceremony began. This was an ability test for the new students. The red gem before you is called the Soul Calling Tower. After your martial soul awakens, the Soul Calling Tower will glow. Depending on the strength of your martial soul, the Soul Calling Tower will shine in different colors. The highest level is purple. Next is white gold. Then gold. Silver. Bronze is the lowest. However, entrants only need to reach silver to pass. Quickly, Sagan, the first student in Kaho's class, stepped forward. The moment he touched the soul connecting tower, a golden light blinded everyone. But the next second it became awkward. He was to low-level bronze wind spirit. She was about to laugh herself sick. Fortunately, Kuhoi still had many students. But as one student after another touched the soul awakening tower, all of them turned out to have the lowest level bronze spirit. Kaiho wanted to find a hole to crawl into. Now she could only resort to desperate measures. He shouted Yi Wei. Hearing this, everyone's expressions turned shocking. No one expected it to be someone from the Yi family. As he placed his hand on the soul awakening platform, his martial soul's level immediately shocked everyone. With a flash of golden light, it was revealed to be a golden level thunder martial soul. At this moment, she was about to grind her molars to dust. This golden thunder martial soul is 1 in 10,000. Meanwhile, Kuo was mocking her. She was about to pee her pants from nervousness. After all, it was Kunyan's turn to be tested next. If the test revealed a bronze level soul, she might as well find a crack in the earth to hide in. As Kinyan touched the soul communication tower, a burst of yellow light appeared. Shiyun was ready to dive into the ground. But suddenly, people realized something was wrong, because purple brilliance gradually emerged from the yellow light. Kunyan actually awakened a purple gold grade fire soul. Seeing her disciple's remarkable achievement, she smiled. My judgment is indeed impeccable. I did not choose the wrong person. Meanwhile, in the audience, Yi Weixuan was gnashing his teeth. As a member of the Yi family, he would not allow anyone to have higher talent than himself. The test ended amidst Kaiho's envy, jealousy, and hatred. Kunyan also wandered around Hualing Academy with his master. I thought I could finally start learning martial arts. But unexpectedly, Shiyu said, the class battle in a few days depends on you. Hearing that there was actually a class battle, Kunyan immediately felt a little intimidated. After all, he only had a single yang spiritual vein. However, upon hearing this, the master, let's get the point. Why you only used a single yang spirit vein, and yet you cultivated to the martial body realm, 4th level? You should know that anyone else, under the same conditions, would have given up. Actually, your strongest talent is your unwavering willpower. Hearing the master's praise, Kinyan felt a little inflated, but still worriedly said, he did not only have the 1 yang spiritual vein, he had not even cultivated any inner strength manuals. Shiyu listened. I've hundreds of those, and they're all top-tier, peerless cultivation techniques. Just pick whichever you like. With Shiyu's full support, Kinyan finally had confidence. Under Shiyu's arrangement, Kunyan lived in a 2,000 square meter student dormitory. He was also given a cultivation technique called Swan Yang Ju. Before leaving, she told him to cultivate diligently for the next few days. Do not scare everyone away. Fantao is just a class war. If you need anything, come find me at the teacher's apartment. Tonight, Kunyan began cultivating this inner cultivation method called Swan Yang Ju. Fiery flames erupted around his body, but they did not ignite the surrounding objects. Kunyan, feeling he had made good progress in his cultivation today, took a string of beads from his bosom. It was a magical artifact given to him by the beautiful Grandmaster, the Nanyang Divine Soul, because he had absorbed the abundant spiritual energy of the Academy. It was now showing some reaction. He recalled the beautiful Grandmaster's words from the past. As long as his cultivation level improves by 1 stage, I can unlock a layer of restriction within the bead. The supreme treasure hidden within will surely allow me to become a top-tier martial artist. As Kinyan infused spiritual energy into the bead, the next second, an unbelievable scene appeared. The bead in his hand emitted a golden light, and then a bamboo tube appeared before him. This is actually a bamboo slip, and what's inscribed on it immediately startled Kinyan. These spirit runes are specifically used to refine spirit artifacts. As for the dazzling runes, they're even more extraordinary. They are specifically used to refine even more powerful dazzling artifacts. As for Dao runes, they are even more powerful. It's the most indispensable material for refining the supreme Dao artifacts, and possessing so many mysterious patterns, you knew that he could definitely become a master of mysterious patterns. The most important thing now is secrecy. After all, if others found out that he possessed so many mysterious and profound patterns, it would definitely bring him deadly danger. The first bead actually produced such an item. The following beads, I do not know what they'll produce yet. Thinking about it is a little exciting. The next day, Kinyan, who was fast asleep, was suddenly awakened by his master. because the dean had left seclusion early, so the freshman orientation and class battle were brought forward. Upon hearing this, Kunyan immediately went to the venue with his master. Thousands of people had already gathered at the venue. The dean stood on the stage. He addressed all the freshmen below. First of all, welcome all new students to Huling Academy. To ensure you all acquire genuine skills, a freshman class battle is held every year at this time. Kunyan also learned from Shiyu the importance of this class battle. Turns out that the cultivation resources each year are distributed according to the class battle rankings. The last place class will not receive any resources. Hearing that the consequences of losing were so severe, Kim began to worry. After all their class, but it was only him. Is not that the equivalent of being ganged up on. Fortunately, the class battle rules are based on one-on-one duels. Oh, as long as he wins 2 matches in a row, he'll be added to the list of those eligible for resources. Soon, with the automatic draw completed, Kunyan's opponent was from class 6. I was also scheduled for the first match. However, as soon as I stepped onto the stage, Kunyan unexpectedly ran into an old acquaintance. To be exact, it was his enemy's grandson. Among those who stole Kunyan's spiritual veins back then was his grandfather. Yan Zhaoming, as the grandson of a great general, always looked down on others. Actually, their family is nothing more than a dog of the empress. Faced with Kunyan's disdain, Yan Zhaoming flew into a rage. He threw a punch like a sandbag, coming straight at him. Kunyan, who was hit squarely, was completely unscathed. Yan Zhaoming's face was full of disbelief. His punch with enough force to pierce a wall. It's like hitting cotton. But before he could react, Kunyan grabbed his wrist, lifted it gently upwards, tossed Yan Zhaoming high into the air. He was instantly killed. The audience broke out in a cold sweat. How could someone with only one Yang Lingmai be so powerful? And just stepped off the stage. Qian just made a sarcastic remark. This battle was much easier than I expected. Then he was immediately embraced by his teacher. 2 basketball-sized lumps once again left him breathless, because they won the first match so impressively. She was overjoyed. But just as she was rejoicing, I did not expect that the opponent in the second match against Qin Yun would be Awakens, who possesses a gold spirit with a thunder attribute. Facing Shi's worries, Qin Yun confidently gave a thumbs up. But unexpectedly, Awakens treated Qin Yun like a fool. He possesses a thunder attribute with extremely destructive power, yet he acted shamelessly, accusing Qin to let him trade blows with him. Knowing the other party had ulterior motives, Qin readily agreed. Seeing the other party fall for it, Awakens unleashed surging power of thunder. But Qin Yun gathered flames in his hands, instantly casting the profound sun art. A thunder to fire collided in midair like that. I thought Awakens would win easily. But the result was unexpected to everyone. Qin Yun's flames instantly engulfed him. Immediately afterwards, a pig-like scream was heard. Awakens was seen enveloped in flames, and he fell onto the ring with a thud. Clearly he's lost his fighting ability. At this moment, Qin Yun looked at himself with a dumbfounded expression, thinking to himself, is it really that simple? Well, why is it like this again? Kai's jaw dropped in shock again. The others present were also shocked. Another one at kill. Just what exactly is Qin Yun's background? In a flash, the dean came over the box and said, congratulations, Qin Yun. This is your reward for winning the class battle. 40 purple crystal coins, which can be exchanged for 40,000 crystal coins. 4 mid-grade spirit pills, Wiki Dan, and these 2 are high-grade martial arts manuals. Then Qin Yun came over with the rewards and said, teacher, these are for you. Yang Shi was instantly moved and said, Qin Yun decided, you'll move in and live with me. It'll also be convenient for me to guide you. Qin Yun was momentarily stunned, not yet reacting. He was pulled away by Yang Shi before he could respond. That's settled then. Hurry up and come with me to pack your things and move. In the blink of an eye, they arrived at the teacher's dormitory, and Yang Shi said, take these 2 bottles of Huaki Dan. They can help you break through to the 5th level. Qin Yun looked at her worried face and asked, would not I be poisoned if I eat them all at once? Yang Shi did not answer, turning to leave and saying, just cultivate here diligently. I will come to guide you every day. Night fell. Qin Yun was sitting in the room. He picked up the pill and thought, is it really alright to eat them all? Qin Yun broke out in a cold sweat and thought to himself, it seems like a large amount of inner energy is surging outwards. At the same time, a large amount of black gas was emanating from his body. At this moment, Qin Yun looked at it in astonishment and said, what is this black stuff? In an instant, the black gas transformed into red gas, converging towards Qin Yun's body. Looking at Qin Yun, who was now covered in sweat, he thought to himself, what is that black gas? Could it be my second martial soul? It's so strange. A couple of bottles of Wajidan did not help me break through, but now I've condensed a second martial soul. I must not let anyone find out. In the blink of an eye, the next morning arrived. Qin Yun was seen lying on the ground asleep. Suddenly, Yang Shi burst through the door and shouted, Wake Yun! This startled Qin Yun, who quickly pulled up his pants and shouted, teacher, could you knock next time before entering? Then Yang Shi said, a girl named Xiao Yulin is looking for you. Who is she to you? The scene changes, showing Xiao Yulin greeting him. Qin Yun, long time. Qin Yun replied with a chuckle, it's been 5 years, has not it? And Xiao Yulin then, I have something important to tell you today. About our mother. They secretly arranged our engagement, and even drew up an engagement contract. Is the contract in your possession? The contract, Kunyan said after listening. It's indeed with me. Do you want it? Satyulan seriously. Keep the contract safe. 1 year, at my engagement ceremony, you must bring this contract. If you do not come, I will hunt you down to the ends of the earth. Kunyan was embarrassed and replied, Cannot I give it to you now? Do you intend to humiliate me at our engagement ceremony a year from now? Humiliate you? Yulin turned around and said helplessly, I do not have the time. Besides, you do not have the strength. You're not even qualified to be humiliated by me. Then Yang Shiu stared at Kunyan and said, What? Serious fiancé? Kunyan was suddenly embarrassed and replied, Not exactly a fiancé. It was just a childish engagement arranged on a whim by our elders back then. Do not take it seriously. Yang Shiu turned and reminded him after hearing this, You should get rid of that kind of woman as soon as possible. Also, you must quickly master your martial arts skills, then participate in the Heavenly Lion Martial Arts Tournament. Kunyan asked, bewildered after hearing this, What is the Heavenly Lion Martial Arts Tournament? Yang Shi explained. It's held every 5 years, a martial arts competition for those at the 4th and 5th levels of Wudi realm. Although no 4th level students are participating this time, I think you could give it a try. Hearing this, Kunyan awkwardly replied, Another martial competition? I've just arrived at the academy, and I'm already going to offend so many people. How am I supposed to live with this? The male lead's teacher said he wanted to take a bath with him. Just thinking about it is unbearable. Seeing Kinyan so dejected, Yang Shi walked over, touched Kinyan and said playfully, If you can get first place, the teacher will grant you any request. Then she turned and left, saying, Cultivate well, I'll be waiting for that day. This left Kinyan speechless. Teacher, can you be serious? Saying this, he picked up the rewarded martial skill and thought, I should cultivate the martial skill first. 3 days passed in a flash. At this moment, in the Heavenly Lion Hall, Yang Shiyu introduced, Martial Body Realm 4th and 5th levels. Everyone can participate in the Heavenly Lion Martial Arts Tournament, but not everyone can pass the assessment. To compete on stage, one needs a certain level of strength. Therefore, you must first pass a simple assessment. After hearing this, Kunyan asked doubtfully, What is the reward for winning first place in the Heavenly Lion Martial Arts Tournament? Yang Shi then explained, The reward for winning first place? Then you can enter the Sky Lion pool to cultivate. The Sky Lion spring water is scalding and domineering. It is said to be refined from lion beasts and special spring water. Soaking in the Sky Lion pool has many benefits. This is a great opportunity to improve your strength. Then the teacher will go with you to soak in the Sky Lion spring, to cultivate our feelings. Hearing this, Kunyan almost spat out blood, secretly thinking, What's this scene? Yang Shi, leaning on Su Yun, happily said, How do not spoil the fun. Alright, no more jokes. Let's... In a flash, they arrived at the registration area. At this time, Yang Shiu stepped forward and said, Taeyun from the 9th class, registering for the Qin Shi martial arts competition. At this moment, the bearded man looked on and reminded, Young man, it's good to gain more experience, but be careful not to push yourself too hard. Just then, Kui Ho suddenly appeared beside them and lectured, Teacher Yang, one should not be arrogant. You should have self-awareness and be humble. As it should not you teach your students this? Do not get too complacent just because Su Yun won the class battle. Do not think he's incredibly strong. Your class only has him as a student. If he gets injured or killed in the competition, that would be laughable. Yang Shiyu turned her head and saw Kai instantly speechless. Kai Ho turned to leave, saying, I do not want to argue with you today. Let's see who's truly skilled at the martial arts competition. Oh? Wakeshun Kun from our class heard about your glorious achievements and wants to spar with you. You two will meet at the Qin Shi martial arts competition. Wakeshun Kun Yun was completely baffled. Yang Shi explained at that moment. Wakeshun Kun is the son of a renowned Kawan master. The disciple of the Wu of 5 weights. You must avoid conflict with him unless absolutely necessary. Alright, let's hurry to the martial arts trials. The scene changes and the dean introduces disciples participating in the Heavenly Lion Martial Arts Conference. This year's Heavenly Lion Martial Arts Conference rules are different from previous years. Due to the large number of participants, the Martial Arts Conference rules have been changed. You will all go to the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range to hunt demonic beasts. The Martial Arts Conference rankings will be based on the level and number of demonic beasts you hunt. Hunting demonic beasts is extremely dangerous. You must not be overconfident. Do not hunt demonic beasts stronger than yourself. After killing a demonic beast, remove the demon crystal formed within its body for scoring. That path leads to the Yunlong Mountain Range. The time limit is 7 days. Those who have not returned here after 7 days will be eliminated. The Tianxi martial arts tournament officially begins now. Hearing this, Yang Shiyu said with a worried look on her face, We have to go to the Yunlong Mountain Range. This is trouble. Then she instructed, I cannot go with you. You must be extra careful. Do not worry, master. Kinyan said and rushed out. I will definitely win first place. Watching Suyun leave, Yang Shiyu worriedly thought to herself, the Empress will definitely send someone to assassinate him secretly this time. Kunyan. Be careful. Turning around, Kiho anxiously shouted, Wakeshun Kun, why are you still here? Kunyan entered the Yunlong Mountain Range a long time ago. If we miss this chance, it'll be much harder to kill him. Wakeshun Kun replied while enjoying himself. Rest assured, in my eyes, Kunyan is already a dead man. After hearing this, Kui reminded him, Do not be careless. If anything goes wrong, the Empress will blame us and we'll both lose our lives. The scene changes to the Yunlong mountain range. Kunyun walked along thinking to himself, it's getting dark in the Yunlong mountain range. I need to find a demon beast quickly. But it's so vast here, where on earth should I look? I cannot even see another person. Where have all the other contestants gone? A long time. Kunyun gasped and muttered to himself, this place is really huge. So tired, he thought, then plopped down on the ground. Just then a drop of saliva landed on his shoulder. At some point, a huge red-eyed demonic beast had appeared behind him, just as Kunyun sensed the danger. He quickly turned his head. Suddenly, a gigantic gorilla lunged at him, its jaws wide open. Kunyun quickly leaped back to dodge the chimpanzee's attack. Suyun exclaimed in shock, we've actually run into a demonic beast at this time. Just then, the black chimpanzee charged again. Seeing this, Kunyun angrily shouted, beast, do not blame me for being ruthless. He then unleashed the Xuan Yang art. With a loud boom, it struck the black chimpanzee on the head. In a flash, Kunyun clutched his swollen, etching hand and cried out, ouch! So hard. I'd better get out of here, he thought, and ran away. Halili saw this and cried out, chasing after him. Meanwhile, as Kunyun fled, he thought to himself, this is not going to work. Suddenly, he remembered the fire cloud step he had just learned. He immediately used the fire cloud step. With a whoosh, he disappeared. In the blink of an eye, Kunyun was seen hiding behind a large tree, watching alertly and thinking to himself, I finally shook them off, thanks to learning the fire cloud step. It seems that I alone can hardly kill the demonic beast. The top priority is to find some companions first. Meanwhile, in another part of the Yunlong mountain range, Wakeshuan Kun was seen with a mischievous smile, saying, Kunyun, where exactly are you hiding? The scene A group of people are seen besieging a red demonic beast. In an instant, everyone is sent flying. The gray-haired man grits his teeth and thinks to himself, damn it, it's a fifth-order demonic beast. We're no match for it. At that moment, the demonic beast opens its bloody maw and lunges towards the beauty beside it. The beauty was instantly terrified and flustered. Damn it, suddenly a person leaped forward. With a slap, he hit the demonic beast on the head, sending it flying. At this time, Scarface looked at the beauty and asked, Miss, are you alright? The beauty looked at him with disgust. Stay away from me, you creep. This immediately made Scarface feel awkward. Then everyone crowded around. At this time, the gray-haired man stepped forward and politely said, Thank you for your help, my good sir. May I ask your name? Meanwhile, Kunyun in disguise thought, to escape the Empress's pursuit, I can only temporarily change my appearance. I must not reveal my identity. He then narrowed his eyes and replied with a smile. I'm one. These are merely trifling matters. The gray-haired man politely invited. I am Ding Shanshan of the third shift. Brother Wang, would you like to team up? If not, you can join us and hunt demonic beasts together. Hearing this, the beautiful woman quickly stopped him. Senior brother, this person's background is unknown and his appearance is unsightly. Senior brother, no. Stop it, Qin Chun hurriedly stopped him. Others are risking their lives to save you in a crisis. Yet you suspect your lifesaver with the heart of a gentleman judging a villain's belly. Have you forgotten Master's teachings? At this moment, Kunyun watched the scene unfold and thought to himself, it seems he is a righteous gentleman worth befriending. He immediately cupped his fists in a gesture of respect and replied, I was hoping to form a team. Thank you for the invitation, brother Ding. That's great, Ding Shanshan said happily, introducing them. These are my teammates I met along the way. Brother Wan, you can rest assured. They are all trustworthy and righteous. Then everyone stepped forward to greet each other. Only the beautiful woman looked on with a gloomy expression, thinking to herself, this guy's background is unknown. Senior brother is actually teaming up with him. I have to find a way to get this guy kicked out of the team. As someone dug out the beast crystal, Ding Xian said, Brother Wang, you defeated this demonic beast. The beast crystal naturally belongs to you, Brother Wang. Kunyun replied with a smile. Do not be so polite, everyone deserves a share. By the way, where will you hunt demonic beasts next? Qin Shun introduced here. We plan to go deep into the Yunlong mountain range. That's where demonic beasts are most concentrated. We can obtain the most demonic crystals in the shortest time. But there are sixth-order demonic beasts in the depths of the mountain range. It's extremely dangerous. Kunyun was startled and asked, How strong is the strongest demon beast in the depths of the Yunlong mountain range? Qin explained. The entire Yunlong mountain range is many times larger than the Qian Qin Empire. Two nearby empires border the Yunlong mountain range. Within such a vast Yunlong mountain range, there are various heavenly treasures and earthly materials. The demon beasts can eat these things and constantly evolve. So deep there must be Swan beasts. Swan beast. Kunyun was completely baffled. Here Tianchun continued to explain. Wuti realm corresponds to demonic beasts, while Swan beasts are above the Wudao realm. After listening, Kunyun extended a finger and questioningly asked, the kind that are entirely black? What level of monster is the one that looks like a big raccoon? Hearing this, Ding Shanshan immediately broke into a cold sweat and said, You mean the swift ape? That's a seventh-order monster. It's extremely dangerous. If an ordinary person encounters one, they would not have a chance to escape. This man is reckless. He attacks without a word. Upon seeing the man's face, he turned and left, not even taking the beast crystal. After listening to Ding Shanshan's introduction, Kunyun sighed. So is a seventh-order demonic beast? No wonder my full-strength attack was completely ineffective. Hearing this, Ding Shanshan's jaw dropped. You actually fought a seventh-order demonic beast and escaped unscathed. Brother Wan, your cultivation is truly astonishing. At this time, someone urged, we need more beast crystals. Head straight for the depths of the mountain range. Depart immediately. Afterwards, Kun Yun and his group ventured into the depths of the Yunlong mountain range to hunt demonic beasts. 2 days passed like this. One of them, holding a full bag of beast crystals, happily said, "Once these beast crystals are divided, we'll have enough for the Academy's reward. We can go back tomorrow. Keep the beast crystals and get out of my sight." Suddenly a voice came. The man in yellow gritted his teeth and said angrily, "How dare..." Before he could finish, waves of sonic energy attacked him. The man in yellow instantly spat out blood and collapsed to the ground, lifeless. Above, Kian quickly reminded. At this time, Ding Shinchun roared, "Who's hiding up there? Show yourself." At this time, the man in the cloak looked on and praised, "Not bad, you actually found me." Saying this, he jumped down. "Seen the person?" Ding Xianchun questioned. "Zhang Lang. Do you know the consequences of killing your fellow disciples?" Zhang Lang showed a mischievous smile. "Dead men tell no tale." Hearing this, 2 people stepped forward and angrily said, "What's your arrogance? Then we will cleanse the academy for it." Saying so, they charged forward with their swords. Foolish Zhang Lang extended a finger, and immediately waves of sonic energy attacked the 2. With 2 cries of awe, the 2 instantly lost their lives. It fell to the ground with a clang. At this moment, Ding Xianchun looked on in shock and said, "It's a sound wave spirit." He immediately turned to the 2 people behind him and warned, "You two first. We're no match for him. Brother Wang, go with it. I'll hold him off here. Please." Saying that, he attacked. In a flash, Ding Xianchun appeared before Zhang Lang. Meanwhile, Zhang Lang extended his hand and unleashed another sonic wave attack. Seeing this, Ding Xianchun quickly deployed his ice crystal shield. With a loud bang, it shattered. Then, in an instant, Zhang Lang appeared beside him and said, "My speed is also sonic, you know." Saying that, he struck him in the chest, instantly triggering a sonic boom. He was blasted away. He spat out a mouthful of watermelon juice. At this moment, Zhang Lang arrived in front of him and said coldly, "Goodbye," he said, extending a finger, preparing to launch a sonic attack. Suddenly, Su Yun came over, grabbed his hand with a slap, and said, "Stop it." Zhang Lang looked at him fiercely and said, "Let go, Yuan." Kun Yun instantly clenched his fist and attacked, saying, "You wish..." With a loud bang, Zhang Lang was sent flying. He landed on the ground in the distance with a thud. This series of moves stunned everyone. He actually did it with 3 punches. Then Kun Yun turned and said, "Leave the rest to me." Zhang Lang stood up angrily and said, "Hee hee. I never thought I'd meet a strong opponent like you in a place like this. This is truly exciting," he said, then tapped his toes on the ground. Immediately, waves of sound spread out in all directions. At this moment, Kun Yun felt the secret passage. "Run!" Meanwhile, Zhang Lang activated the sonic wheel technique. The ground instantly exploded. In an instant, everyone was knocked unconscious by the blast wave. Kun Yun's true appearance was now revealed. Zhang Lang looked on and teased, "So is you, Kun Yun." Kun Yun looked on and teased, "You actually know me, it seems I'm quite famous." Zhang Lang laughed heartily after hearing this. "The Empress's bounty on your head is astronomical. It's impossible not to know you." Kun Yun smiled and asked, "Are you also trying to collect this bounty?" Zhang Lang smiled without speaking. I'm not interested in the bounty. But the Empress has sent Wei Axuan-kun to eliminate you. If you can survive him, then you'll be qualified to continue fighting me." After hearing this, Kun Yun asked with a serious face, "Wei Axuan-kun again, what is his background?" At this time, Zhang Lang explained, "Wei Axuan-kun is the only Kaiwan master among the academy students, the champion of the Upper Realm Celestial Lion Martial Arts Tournament. I cannot afford to offend him. You should quickly find somewhere to hide. Wei Kukun is not someone you can handle. Goodbye." At this time, Kun Yun looked bewildered and asked, "Are not you going to fight me? You do not want the beast crystals. Keep these beast crystals for yourself." Zhang Lang said this and left. This left Kun Yun feeling awkward. He thought to himself, "What a strange fellow. This woman teamed up with the male lead, just for his barbecue." Scene change. Ding Xianchun and the 2 others were lying on the ground. Suddenly, Inchen abruptly woke up. "Brother Wang, what happened?" Then I saw the letter next to the bag. "Brother Ding, I've made an enemy I cannot afford to deal with. I'm afraid I'll implicate you, so I have to leave first. These beast crystals are for the 3 of you, Brother. Hopefully we'll meet again someday and share drinks together, Brother Ding." Ding Xianchun looked on with worry and said, "Brother Wang, take care." In a flash, I saw someone running. Upon closer inspection, it was Kuohua. At that moment, she angrily gritted her teeth and said, "Damn Wei Axuan-kun, he actually left me alone. Does he want to take all the credit for himself?" Suddenly, her stomach rumbled incessantly. Just when she was unbearably hungry, she suddenly smelled the aroma of roasted meat. He hurried over there. Meanwhile, in a clearing, Kun Yun was grilling meat. Suddenly, Kuho ran over, smiling and greeting him. "Hi, hello there, mister." Kun Yun's heart sank, thinking to himself, "It's..." Kuo then pointed at the grilled meat and asked, "Could you share some food with me? I can pay you in crystals." Hearing this, Kun Yun immediately relaxed. He then took a leg and offered it, saying, "Here, eat it and leave quickly." This made Kui's eyes sparkle with hunger. In the blink of an eye, she had eaten everything except the bones. Kyle leaned against the side, having had her fill. Suddenly she looked serious again and asked, however, having said that, I feel like I've seen you before. Hearing this, Kunyun immediately panicked and hurriedly denied it. Impossible, you must have mistaken me. After listening, Kyuhui pondered. That's true. That kid with so many people chasing him must be hiding deep in the forest. Then asked, my name is What's your name, mister? Why are you in such a dangerous place? Kyun said calmly. My name is Wang. I came here for some training and to collect some beast crystals. How about we team up? It's safer of companions in such a dangerous place. Kyun turned and said, I just want to be alone. Go away. I will not team up with anyone. This make her furious. She thought. Damn it. He actually rejected this great beauty's invitation. It seems I'll have to use some tactics. In a flash, Kui-Hu revealed her shoulders and seductively said, unteam up. Kunyun was startled and immediately distanced himself. What are you doing? This made Kui-Ho feel very embarrassed, thinking to herself, is my charm really that bad? Looking at Kui-Ho, Kunyun pondered, thinking, wait, the more dangerous the place, the safer it is. Those chasing me would not expect me to be by Kai-Hui's side. I just need to keep Kui-Ho by my side. Then I can safely stay until the martial arts competition ends. Thinking this, he said, alright, I agree to team up with you. But we cannot interfere with each other's actions. I will withdraw from the team after I've hunted enough beast crystals. Having just finished speaking, he looked back, startled, and angrily said, my roasted meat. How did you eat all the grilled meat? That was my grilled meat. Kohai licked her lips and said nonchalantly, since we're a team, we're all on the same side. Why bother distinguishing between yours and mine? In a flash, the two were walking down the road together. Then Kohai said, sir, could you help me find someone named Su-Yun? How about I help you hunt for beast crystals? Kunyun asked doubtfully after hearing this, who's Kinyun? Why would you come to such a dangerous place to find him? Ko pointed a finger and said, that Kinyun, that boy, he's arrogant and conceited, disrespectful and impudent. A short, young brat who makes you want to punch him. I came to the forest this time to deal with him. These words angered Kinyun. Then, pretending to be calm, she asked, do you hate him that much? Hate. Hearing this, Kuya pondered. Do we really hate him? He's actually a surprisingly talented young man. If it were not for the Empress, I would not want to, if he were my student. Just as Kinyun was about to be moved, Koyoi suddenly looked angry and gritted her teeth, saying, it's all Yang Shiyu's fault in the end. Why does she get to find such a good student? This made Kinyun feel helpless, and he turned to say, it seems you're not such a bad person after all. Kyle looked puzzled. How could I be a bad person? Why do you say that, sir? Nothing, let's hurry up and go. In the blink of an eye, a long time passed. Only then did Kui say, sir, we've been walking for a long time. Should we rest for a while? Kinyun quickly reminded him, keep your voice down or we'll attract demonic beasts. Attract demonic beasts, Kao said with a smile. Do not let my young age fool you, old man. I'm a level 6 martial body realm expert. Ordinary demonic beasts would not dare approach me. However, unbeknownst to her, several tentacles were slowly extending towards her. The male lead could not defeat the demonic beast. He had no choice but to activate his second spirit weapon and instantly killed the demonic beast. Over here, Kui had just finished boasting, when suddenly several tentacles reached out. They instantly wrapped around her. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a giant octopus. At this moment, Kunyun looked at her embarrassed face and asked, were not you saying that demonic beasts at the martial body realm 6th stage would not dare approach you? Ka cried anxious. It's a level 8 demonic beast, a forest octopus. It's as strong as a martial body realm level 7 cultivator. Save me. Kunyun was speechless for a moment. He thought, how can there be an octopus in the forest? Alright, I'll save. Then I thought, using the profound sun art and the flame light fist would reveal my identity. It seems I can only use the skill the Grand Master taught me. Thinking this, I clenched my fist, activated the Ki explosion skill, and attacked, with a punch hitting the octopus's body. The octopus's tentacles immediately loosened. Kao fell down as a result. Seeing this, Kunyun caught her with asterisk the whack asterisk, secretly thinking, since it's an 8th order demonic beast, we can only resort to the 36 stratagems. The best option is to retreat. Saying this, he carried Kuihai and ran away. Seeing this, the octopus eyes bloodshot shot after them. One of its tentacles struck Kunyun, a loud thud. With a paft, a spurt of watermelon juice came out. Lying on the ground, Kunyun muttered to himself, it seems we cannot escape. Let's attack it together. Hold it off for me for a while. I'll find a way to create an opening and take this monster down. Okay, leave it to me. Ko responded. She then used the Cold Yuan skill to attack the octopus, instantly freezing it in place. Meanwhile, Kinyun instantly arrived above the octopus's head. He instantly unleashed a ki blast, landing a punch on the octopus's head with a loud pop. Kinyun was startled, thinking to himself, so hard. Meanwhile, one of the octopus's tentacles swelled and flung Su-Yun away. Seeing the octopus charge towards Kinyun, Koao instantly unleashed her martial arts skill, attacking the octopus. This successfully enraged the octopus. It instantly extended its tentacles and bound her up again. Kunyun looked on, his heart pounding with alarm. He had to save her, there was no other way, although he did not know how to use it. At this point, he had no choice but to use it. With that thought, he punched the ground, instantly activating his black martial soul. At that moment, Kyuha watched in utter shock. Could that black one be the Tremor martial soul? At the same time, the octopus's tentacles lunged towards Kinyun. The moment he touched the dark energy, it made a sizzling sound and melted away instantly. At this moment, Kunyan gritted his teeth and insisted, "With my cultivation, I still cannot control the power of this black martial soul. There's even a risk of backlash. I cannot care about that anymore. Now I can only fight to the death." Thinking this, he launched a powerful punch. Then there was a asterisk pop asterisk. The octopus body was instantly pierced. His body was torn to shreds. Looking at the destroyed octopus, Koi stood up and happily said, "We finally eliminated this monster. You're really amazing, sir." Mid-sentence, Choi Hai suddenly widened her eyes. Then she saw Kinyan suffering from backlash. He stood there motionless, covered in wounds. This scared Kuho terribly, and she hurriedly asked, "Uncle, what's wrong with you?" In a flash, Kinyan suddenly opened his eyes. He sat up and looked at himself, questioning, "What happened to me?" At this time, Kuho explained, "Uncle, your body could not withstand the backlash of the tremor soul and you fainted." Kinyan asked in confusion, "What is a tremor soul?" Explained, "The black tremor soul is a very rare and unusual soul. It possesses extremely strong tremor power. This is the first time I've seen one. I'm not sure about its specific effects either. Do not you even know the name of your own martial soul, old man?" Kinyan's face turned awkward as he replied, "I probably forgot it because of my injuries." He thought to himself, "I must pull my cover. I need to be more careful." Then Kioi suggested, "Right, old. You're so strong. Why do not we go to the Nine Yang Gathering Spirit Array?" "The Nine Suns Gathering Spirit Array. Yes. But there are high-level monsters guarding it. As long as you, sir, are here, you can eliminate those monsters, and we can easily enter the array." After hearing this, Kunyan asked doubtfully, "What is the function of the Nine Suns Gathering Spirit Array?" Explained, "The Nine Suns Gathering Spirit Array was set up by the founder of Huoling Martial Academy to gather the spiritual energy of the Yunlong mountain range. Cultivators within the array can absorb a large amount of spiritual energy and rapidly improve their cultivation. But if there are too many cultivators in the array, it will excessively deplete the mountain range's spiritual energy. Therefore, the Academy has placed high-level demonic beasts to guard outside the array. Only the elders of the Academy are qualified to enter for cultivation. Our Huoling Martial Academy's Dean Zhang entered the Martial Dao realm within the Nine Suns Gathering Spirit Array." Martial Dao realm. Hearing this, Kunyan clenched his fist and thought to himself, "Right now I cannot even control my own martial soul. I need to quickly improve my cultivation. I need to become stronger." He then stood up and said, "What are we waiting for? Let's go immediately. Is this demonic beast just eating for free? Just anyone could beat it like this?" The next day arrived in a flash. A person was seen being blasted away. He landed on the ground in the distance with a thud. The injured man glared angrily, shouting, "Damn it, Weixuan-kun, you want to keep the Nine Yang Gathering Spirit Array all to yourself?" Weixuan-kun, holding a fire talisman, calmly said, "That's right." With us, she activated the fire talisman. A ball of flame instantly engulfed the man. Weixuan-kun watched with satisfaction, saying, "The weeds are finally cleared. Now it's time for that big fellow over there." The scene changes and Kai-ho points to the distance, saying, "Look at that blue light over there. That's the Nine Yang Gathering Spirit Array. We have to hurry. We cannot let others get there first." At that moment, she suddenly stepped on something and she was startled and exclaimed, "What is it? Is it a student from the academy? Who did this? Could it be the guardian beast? What exactly happened?" Kai dashed toward that side. In an instant, she was startled again. This is... Looking again, the guardian beast was covered in wounds and had already lost its life. At this moment, Ko exclaimed in surprise. The guardian beast was a ninth-order demonic beast. It was actually killed. Could someone already have entered the Jiang Gathering Spirit Array? Who on earth is so powerful? What is that? Koi suddenly saw the talismans on the divine beast body and could not help but curiously pick one up to examine it. At this time, Kunyan quickly leaped forward and reminded her, "Throw it away, it's a blasting talisman." Simultaneously, the blasting talisman exploded with a bang. Both of them were blown away. As the dust settled, Weixuan-kun walked out and said, "Not bad, actually managed to dodge my explosive talisman." "We?" Kai exclaimed in surprise. "Why are you here? Did not you go to hunt down Qin Yun? And you killed so many people. The academy would not let you get away with this," Weixuan said nonchalantly. "Oh, it's teacher Ku. Killing them will let us exclusively enjoy the spiritual energy in the Gathering Spirit Array. As for the academy, it's fine as long as no outsiders know. Like the person beside you." He took out another talisman. Flame shot towards Qin Yun. With a bang, a ball of fire engulfed Qin Yun. Weixuan-kun's face showed shock in a flash. Then Qin Yun emerged from the fireball and said, "This little fire cannot hurt me." "Then try my thunder talisman," Weixuan-kun said, and released another thunder talisman to attack. Qin Yun ripped off his robe. At the same time, he gathered flames in his palm. With a bang, he punched towards it. Weixuan-kun looked at the startled house and said, "So it's a fire martial soul. No wonder you're not afraid of my fire talismans." Kahao looked bewildered and asked, "Is not the old man's martial soul a shock type 1? How could it be a flame martial technique?" Just then, Kunyan charged forward, his hands releasing flames. "Weixuan-kun, taste my such empty..." Weixuan-kun said this and took out an earth talisman, activating it instantly. An earth shield formed in front of him. As Kinyan's fist struck the earth shield, the shield shattered instantly. The undiminished force of the punch struck Weixuan-kun. He was sent flying. With a loud boom, he landed on the Gathering Spirit Array behind him. Seeing this, Weixuan Kun said angrily, "That's amazing. I have not fought seriously in a long time. Looks like I need this." Saying this, he took out a divine talisman and slapped it onto his chest. At this moment, Qiuhui looked on in astonishment. It's a spirit summoning talisman. Weixuan Kun actually has this high-level talisman. Meanwhile, Kunyun gathered flames in both hands and attacked him. As the divine talisman took effect, Weixuan Kun's eyes shone with golden light, his aura surging. With a powerful punch, he sent Kunyun flying. Weixuan Kun then flashed to the side of the flying Su Yun. With 3 crushing kicks, he sent Su Yun hurtling towards the attacker. Kunyun crashed onto the arena platform with a thud. Just as Weixuan Kun was about to strike, a ribbon suddenly wrapped around his wrist. It was Kaihu who made the move. She said, "Weixuan Kun Leto? He poses no threat to you?" She then hurriedly shouted to Kunyun, "Sir, leave quickly, I'll hold him off." Kunyun stood up and said, "Thank you, Teacher Qiuhui. I need to handle this myself. I'm sorry I've been hiding it from you. I will not hide my identity anymore." Finally, the male lead can practice talisman making, but unexpectedly he became a guinea pig. Seeing it was Kunyun, Weixuan Kun jokingly said, "Hee hee. What a stroke of luck. I've been searching high and low for you. Kunyun, I've been looking for you for a long time." At this moment, Kunyun thought to himself, although the Trimmer Soul would backfire, but at this point he could only give it a try. Thinking this, he activated the Trimmer Soul. He actually has a Trimmer Soul. "You young man have been hiding it well." Weixuan Kun was seen extending his hand and taking out another pile of golden talismans, instantly transforming them into a golden sword, exclaiming excitedly, "It's exhilarating to be able to kill someone with dual martial souls. Bring it on." Kunyun roared and charged forward. With asterisk ping asterisk, the two collided. A beam of light shot up into the sky. Violent energy instantly spread outwards. When the dust settled, a deep dark pit appeared within the formation. Weixuan Kun looked at the deep pit and exclaimed, "I never imagined there was a space beneath the gathering spirit array. Kunyun must be dead if he fell down there." In a flash, Su Yun, who had fallen into the pit, sat up and muttered to herself, "Am I still alive? There's actually a space at the bottom of the array. That seems to be the source of spiritual energy within the array." Saying this, she supported herself against the cave wall and walked towards it. Suddenly, Kunyun looked ahead and questioned in confusion, "There's someone." It turns out that the massive spiritual energy in the Nine Suns Gathering Spirit Array originates from here. Upon closer inspection of the spirit tablet, he was startled and exclaimed, "Lin Bingcha. This person is actually the founder of the Hoaling Martial Academy, Senior Lin Binglian, who disappeared nearly 1,000 years ago. To think that Senior Lin Binglian actually used her own remains as the array's core." Just then he discovered a box nearby. Then I thought to myself, it's not good to open other people's boxes, but it should be alright to just sneak a peek, right? Thinking this, I walked forward and opened the box, and saw a few things. Kunyun held the letter and read it. It turned out to be a request to deliver the jade slip in the box to Lang Xiao, the Martial King of Lanling Star Palace. There would be a reward after the task was completed, and the reward was in the storage ring inside the box. Kunyun looked embarrassed and said, "The reward is right here. Are not you worried someone will take the ring and break their promise? Senior Lin Binglian is too trusting. If I can get out alive, I'll deliver it for her." He then tucked Wang Jin into his clothes. He picked up the ring and thought, since it's the reward, so I opened the ring to see what was inside. Spiritual energy was infused. A box appeared before me. Seeing a box full of pills, Su Yun's eyes nearly popped out. In a flash, Kunyun picked up a pill and looked at it, shocked and thinking, these are all high-grade spirit medicines. These medicines are priceless, each bottle worth a fortune outside. With these spirit medicines, combined with the rich spiritual energy here, I'll surely be able to quickly break through the 6th level of Martial Dao Realm. 2 days passed in a flash. Kunyun looked at himself and happily said, I've finally broken through to the 6th level of Martial Body Realm. But even at the 6th level, I cannot defeat Weixuan Kun. I must find a way to counter his incantations. From now on, I will study the strange runes left behind by the Grand Master, learning to make talismans. Weixuan Kun, just you wait. As the fire talisman was completed, Kunyun yelled overjoyed. Then with a bang it exploded. Kunyun was completely dumbfounded, thinking to himself, it seems I need more practice. He immediately drew a lightning talisman. Instantly I was miserably electrocuted again. At this moment, Su Yun looked at the talisman and thought, where exactly did the problem occur? I must figure it out. The scene shift. At this time at Hualing Martial Academy, the brown-haired man said, Dinjiang, the deadline has arrived. It seems that this year's first place will again undoubtedly belong to my son. The dean impatiently said, there's still some time before the hour. It's too early to draw conclusions now. But the brown-haired man scoffed. The martial arts competition has been going on for 7 days. The students who are able to return are already here. Look at the spirit crystals in front of these students on the field. Only my son Weixuan Kun has the most spirit crystals. If it's not my son, who else could it be? Seems the result is already obvious, ha ha ha. Weixuan Kun also looked pleased and asked, Teacher, why the long... Are not you happy that I won first place? But Kaiho could not bring herself to be happy. Yang Shi also looked worried and thought to herself, Kunyun, why have not you returned yet? Just then the dean said helplessly, the time is... Please wait a moment. Before he could finish, Kunyun, who had arrived, interrupted and shouted. Weixuan Kun's face darkened and he was furious. Damn it, at this date he actually managed to come back. At this moment, Kunyun stepped forward and teased, Wei Xuan-kun, do not come near me. You must have robbed all those beast crystals, right? That's amazing. The male lead is really lucky with women. This is the third time he's been hugged by a beautiful teacher, right? Seeing Kunyun's teasing, Wei Xuan-kun angrily stepped forward, grabbed Su-yun and threatened, Kunyun, you're lucky to be alive, but you would not be so lucky this time. Wei Xuan-kun. Yang Shi walked over and said coldly, this is the academy. You cannot act so recklessly here. Wei Xuan-kun turned around and left, saying, I'll let you off today. I'll come looking for you in a few days. Then Yang Shi walked over and slapped Su Yunlu in the arms, excitedly saying, Whoa, I knew you'd come back. You truly are my student. Whoa. Then the dean announced, the Tianxi martial arts tournament is now over. The clerk will now conduct the review. As soon as the words fell, the clerk stepped forward and said, everyone please open the bags containing the beast crystals. In a flash, the clerk finished counting and announced, the count is complete. Now I'll announce the top 5 results. 5th place Yan Yun from class 4 with 112 beast crystals. 4th place Fang Rugang from class 15 with 149 beast crystals. 3rd place Wang Chen from class 11 with 176 beast crystals. Next I will announce the 2nd and 1st place results. 2nd place Kunyun from class 9 with 270 beast crystals. 1st place Wei Xuan-kun from class 7, 806 beast crystals. The brown-haired man said triumphantly, he truly is. Meanwhile, the clerk continued to announce the results. The results are now clear. The champion is Kunyun. At these words, Wei Xuan-kun was startled. He immediately stepped forward and questioned, are you mistaken? How could Kunyun be the champion? That guy only has 270 beast crystals, while I have 806. I'm the champion. The scribe looked at me and explained, although your number of beast crystals far surpasses Kunyun's beast crystals include 1 top-grade beast crystal. Wei Xuan-kun was instantly shocked. What a top-grade beast crystal? That is a spirit beast crystal. After listening, the clerk affirmed, that's right, it is indeed a spirit beast crystal. According to the martial arts competition rules, 1 top-grade beast crystal is equivalent to 10 ordinary beast crystals. Upon hearing this, Wei Xuan-kun angrily shouted, how is this possible? Kunyun is only at the martial body realm, 4th level. How could he possibly defeat a spirit beast? Damn it, he must have cheated. Spirit beasts are equivalent to the martial Dao realm. It's impossible for them to be defeated by someone at the martial body realm, 4th level. At this time, Kunyun stepped forward and thanked him. I have to thank you for knocking me into the 9 Suns Gathering Spirit Array. Wei Xuan-kun was seen gnashing his teeth in anger. Kunyun, do not get too cocky. You will not be so lucky this time. I'll tear you to pieces. He then released his aura. Stop it, Kunner, a brown-haired man stepped forward and shouted, truly a hero. Kunyun, I've heard of your great name for a long time. I see today your reputation is well-deserved. I'm here to congratulate my junior brother Kunyun on winning the championship of the Sky Lion Martial Arts Tournament. I'm hosting a banquet at my residence tonight. Please, junior brother Kunyun, do me the honor of attending. Then Yang Shi stepped forward and said, Master Wei has invited us. We, master and disciple, will surely be there on time. Then we'll see you later. Watching the two leave, Kunyun asked doubtfully, Teacher, are now we walking into a lion's den? It's too dangerous. Yang Shi explained helplessly, Master Wei is insidious and cunning. If we do not go, he will definitely use even more despicable methods against you. Then we'll be completely unprepared. If there's really danger, then I will protect you too. Kunyun blushed and felt touched by these words. In a flash, the clerk stepped forward and said, Congratulations, Kunyun. This is the Heavenly Lion token. You may use this token to enter the Heavenly Lion pool for refinement, and you may bring 1 other person with you. This token allows entry into the Heavenly Lion pool 3 times. Please use it wisely. Kunyun held his life token and muttered to himself, Can I bring 1 more person? But for now I should go alone. Suddenly Yang Shiyu appeared beside him, her eyes sparkling with excitement, saying, Wow, we can go to the Celestial Lion Spring. Let's hurry to the Celestial Lion Spring for tempering. She then pulled Kunyun and they ran off. The scene shift. At the Celestial Lion Pool, a beautiful voice was heard. It's so warm and comfortable. Kunyun felt a wave of embarrassment. Yang Shi looked happy and said, I have not been to Qinshi Pool for a long time. After my body refinement, my cultivation, which had not shown signs of advancement for a long time, seems to have loosened up. At this moment, Kunyun looked at her and questioned, Teacher, you must have been planning this trip to the Qinshi Pool for a long time, have not you? Should not men and women bathe separately? Yang Shi smirked mischievously. Do you want me to scrub your back, teacher? The male lead's teacher encouraged him and cheered him on to soak in the hot spring. Said that if he won, she would take him to the hot spring. Hearing that Yang Shi was going to scrub his back, Kunyun blushed and replied, No need, take your time showering. I'll go first. Before he finished speaking, Yang Shi leaned closer and said, Wait, do you feel your whole body heating up right now? Do you feel a surge of heat in your body? Hearing this, Kunyun quickly distanced himself, blushing and saying, Teacher, what are you talking about? I was suddenly startled. I could feel a surge of heat rising in my body. It felt like all the meridians in my body were opened up. After listening, Yang Shiyu stood up and said, Since the tempering is complete, let's go. Let's see what Master Wei is up to. The scene changes, showing Qin and Yang Shiyu arriving at Wei Manor. Wei Qing hurriedly greeted them. How I've been waiting for you two for a long time. Please have a seat. The two sat down. Wei Yang. Since everyone's here, let's begin the banquet. Sing. Let me introduce you two to our distinguished guests who have traveled a long way from the imperial city. This is General Yan, the Duke of Yan. I presume you know him, Kun. Kun Yan gritted his teeth, seething inwardly. So it's Yan Zhongmin, one of the guys who stole my spiritual veins. Wei Yang raised his cup and said, Kun Yan, to defeat Cunner, you are truly the top student among Hualing Martial Academy's freshmen. Would you grace us with your presence at the banquet? I'm truly grateful. Kun Yan hastily raised his cup in reply. Master Wei, you're too kind. We're all from the Hualing Martial Academy. Master Wei's ability to create talismans is naturally an honor for the Hualing Martial Academy. Of course I would come. At this time, the Duke of Yan reminded, Old Wei, you do not. This boy was taught by a female demon since childhood. Although we removed 4 of his spiritual veins, he still cultivated demonic arts. That's why he achieved what he has today. He's just a small demon. He's not worthy of your toast. Wei Xuan-kun. That's right. If he not cultivated demonic arts, how could he defeat the spirit beast and obtain the top-grade beast crystal? Then Yang Shi clarified. Qian is my student. He has not cultivated demonic arts. The profound sun scripture he cultivates was a gift from me. As for the martial skills he learned later, they were the flame light fist and fire cloud step, which he obtained himself. These are all well-known facts. Yang Gugong sighed helplessly. You do not know, right now throughout Qin, everyone believes that Kunyun is cultivating demonic arts. Your word alone is not enough to convince everyone. And also Hualing Martial Academy's reputation has become extremely poor because of Qin and is being ridiculed by other countries' martial academies. Yang Shi replied, if I were to send several thousand people to spread rumors that Wei Xuan-kun cultivates demonic skills, I think it would not take long before the whole country believes he's cultivating demonic skills. Right? Wei Xuan-kun was furious after hearing this. At this time, Wei Yang interrupted and asked, it seems reasonable. What's your opinion, Brother Kun? Qin clasped his fists and replied, the reason I was able to defeat the spirit beast and obtain the top-grade beast crystal is because I luckily learned how to make talismans. I managed to win with difficulty by using a large number of talismans. Well, you can make talismans. Wei Xuan-kun and the 3 others were startled. Wei Yang, however, laughed heartily. You're so funny. You cannot just make talismans at will. To make talismans, you first need to become a Kaiwan master. Becoming a Kaiwan master is not something that can be achieved in a year or 2. Kun, you're so young, it's hard to believe. Kunyan replied with an awkward smile. How it was just a coincidence. At this moment, the Duke of Yan suggested, why do not let Qin compete in talisman crafting with the other talisman masters? If he can craft a talisman, it will prove his innocence. It seems there's no other way. Brother Qin, what do you think? After hearing this, Kunyan agreed without hesitation. At this time, Yang Shiyu scolded. When did you learn talisman crafting? Do not make a fool of yourself. But Qin confidently replied, do not worry, teacher. Wei Yang, hearing the praise, said, very good. Then let Cunner and Su Diddy have a trial of skill. The scene Everyone has now come outdoors. Wei Yang reminded them, Cunner, remember to stop when you've made your point. Do not ruin the harmony between the two of you. Wei Xuan coldly snorted, I will be careful. On the other hand, Yang Shiyu excitedly shouted, beat him to a pulp. We'll go to the hot springs to celebrate later. Hearing this, Kunyan's face instantly turned awkward. Listen, I'll try my best. The male lead only changed one detail in the talisman, instantly incapacitating Wei Xuan. Wei Yang then said, it seems that you two are ready. Then let me explain the rules of the talisman making competition. Both sides will use the cinnabar and yellow paper in front of you as raw materials to make talismans. Each of you will create 4 attack talismans: wind, thunder, water, and fire, and use the created talismans to attack each other. The winner will be determined by a best of 3. 2 wins and 2 losses constitute a draw. If one party's talismans are unable to counter the other party's talismans, they are deemed the loser. If one party's talisman making speed is insufficient, and they are attacked by the opponent's talismans without dodging, they are also deemed the loser. Now let's start making the first thunder talisman. As soon as the words left his mouth, Wei Xuan instantly created a thunder talisman. With a whoosh, it attacked Su Yun. So fast, Kunyan was startled and quickly dodged. A thunderclap echoed as the thunder talisman exploded behind him. With that, Wei Xuan was announced the winner for creating the thunder talisman. The Duke of Yan sneered. I told you that boy was bluffing. If he did not use his demonic powers, he would have been killed. Meanwhile, Kunyan gritted his teeth and thought to himself, Wei is making talismans so fast, looks like I'll have to win using a different method. At this time, Wei Yang announced, round crack win talismans. Begin. Kunyan thought to himself, I'm not very familiar with the method of making crack win talismans. I'll definitely lose in a speed contest. It seems I can only defend. In the blink of an eye, Wei Xuan had already drawn the crack win talisman and attacked. Kunyan, having just finished his drawing, flung it towards the ground. At this moment, the Duke of Yan looked on and mocked. Has this kid gone mad? He actually threw the finished talisman on the ground. Just as Wei Xuan's crack win talisman was about to strike, the talisman Kunyan threw on the ground was instantly activated, Immediately, the attacks from the two wind talismans collided with a loud boom. In an instant, the attacks canceled each other out and disappeared. Wei Xuan-kun looked on in shock, exclaiming, "What, he actually blocked the crack wind talisman?" Wei Yong's voice then rang out. Although both sides produced crack wind talismans, Wei Xuan-kun's speed was superior. Therefore, the winner of the second match is Wei Xuan-kun. Wei Xuan-kun, however, was furious, thinking to himself, "Kunyun, in this final round of fire talismans, I will reduce you to ashes with the talismans I've made." As the third round of fire talisman creation begins, Wei Xuan-kun draws his talisman, boasting, "Kunyun, there's no escape for you now." Haha. Meanwhile, Kunyun looks at the talisman in his hand and thinks, "This fire talisman's power seemed no match for Wei Xuan-kun's. I'll have to try the method the Grand Master taught me using the beads he left behind." The inscription on the letter states that one can integrate one's martial soul into a magic talisman. The talisman's power will increase according to the strength of the martial soul. I'll integrate my shockwave martial soul into this talisman. Take this. Wei Xuan-kun roared and activated the fire talisman, attacking. Meanwhile, Kunyun thought to himself, "Life or death hangs in the balance. I'll gamble everything on this one move." He shot out the fire talisman in one go. Wei Xuan-kun watched and sneered. "Ha! Such a small fire dares to contend with me." The two fire talismans collided. Wei Xuan-kun watched in shock. It was actually blocked. Suyun's fire talisman passed through Wei Xuan-kun's, and with a bang struck him, leaving Wei Xuan-kun staring in terror. As the dust settled, the arena was seen to be shattered. Wei Xuan-kun's clothes were burned away, and he lay on the ground, unable to fight anymore. Kunyun cupped his fists and said, "I'm sorry I lost control and struck too hard. Please forgive me, Master Wei." This made Wei Yong furious. Yan Gogong, watching this, thought angrily, "This guy actually defeated Wei Xuan-kun without using demonic arts? How could his strength have improved so rapidly?" With the third round of fire talisman creation, Kunyun won. Someone quickly stepped forward to check and said, "Master Wei, young Master Wei has fallen unconscious. He cannot continue the next match." Yang Shiyu shouted at this moment, "Everyone has seen now. Kunyun not use any demonic skill?" The Duke of Yan replied angrily and helplessly at this moment, "We can now be certain that Kunyun did not cultivate demonic skills, but it does not mean he's without fault. Back then, the Grand Tutor cultivated forbidden demonic skills. It's all because he allowed it." Yang Shi's eyes widened in anger. "No matter what, all of you must apologize to Kunyun today." Then she unleashed her aura and shouted, "If you do not apologize to Kunyun, I guarantee you'll all be crawling out of Hualing Martial Academy tonight." The male lead becomes a Kaiwan master and joins the Kaiwan Hall, and yet even the Empress dares not provoke the Kaiwan Palace. Seeing Yang Shiyu unleash her aura, the Duke of Xing, his face covered in cold sweat, thought in alarm, "I've long heard that Yang Shiyu is a platinum martial soul expert who has reached the 9th level of martial body. Seeing it today, it truly lives up to its reputation. It seems no one present is her match. Now we can only retreat." Wei Yong quickly advised, "Teacher Yang, please calm down. General Yan will definitely give you a satisfactory explanation." The Duke of Yan, "Good, I will apologize to Kunyun and compensate him with 100,000 crystal coins. How about that?" Yang Shiyu said domineeringly. "Then immediately send the 100,000 crystal coins to Kunyun's residence. If you dare to go back on your word, I will surely raise your Yan residence to the ground." The scene changes, showing Kunyun looking at a chest full of crystal coins in astonishment. "Wow, so many crystal coins!" Yang Shiyu, standing beside him, explained, "A total of 100,000 crystal coins. All from that fellow, the Duke of Yan, as compensation. These crystal coins are enough for you to buy many cultivation resources." "Thank you so much, Master." Yang Shiyu continued to instruct, "These are all yours by right. Starting tomorrow, you must focus on your cultivation. Also, under no circumstances should you go out alone. After this incident, Master Wei and the Duke of Yan will certainly resort to even more despicable means to harm you. You must cultivate while always remaining within my sensing range." After listening, Kunyun replied seriously, "Yes, I will be extra careful." In the Imperial Palace, a eunuch anxiously shouted, "Your Majesty the Empress, what should we do?" Kunyun has cultivated the strange patterns and can now make talismans. He's become a junior talisman master, and Wei Xuan-kun has also been incapacitated. The Empress was startled and said, "That little beast Kunyun has stirred up such a huge storm? We do not need to worry about Kunyun for now. Just wait until Father reaches the martial Dao realm. The entire Chinkin Empire will be ours. We'll find an opportunity to deal with Kunyun then. The most important thing right now is to do everything we can to facilitate the marriage between the Crown Prince and Xia Yulin." The scene changes, showing Kunyun meditating and cultivating. Kunyun opens his eyes and thinks to himself, "After consuming so many spirit medicines, I feel my Yuan power has increased exponentially. It seems I'm on the verge of a breakthrough." Suddenly, Yang Shiyu walked in and shouted, "Kunyun, the Grand Steward of the Kaiwan Hall wants to see you. Hurry to the living room." Kaiwan Hall. Yang Shiyu explained with a happy expression, "The Grand Steward of the Kaiwan Hall has personally come to see you. It seems your luck is turning around." In a flash, the steward asked, "You're Kunyun?" Kunyun quickly bowed. "Junior is Kunyun, I greet my senior. I wonder what business my senior has with me." The steward looked on with satisfaction and said, "At such a young age you've defeated Wei Xuan-kun and become a talisman master. That's amazing, I wonder who taught you?" Kunyun clasped his fists and replied, "It was my grand tutor who taught me talisman crafting." At this time, the steward stood up and introduced himself. I am Won-Duin, the steward of the Kaiwan Hall. I'm here to confer upon you the qualification of a junior talisman master on behalf of the Kaiwan Hall. This is the junior talisman master's badge. With this badge, you can reside in the Kaiwan Hall at any time, and I've commissioned Kaiwan Hall to sell the talismans. You can also inquire about the latest news you need to know. Kunyan looked at the badge and exclaimed, but I'm a student of Hualing Martial Academy. I cannot join Hall. After listening, Dunkin explained, Kaiwan Hall manages the promotion and demotion of all the Kaiwan masters in the world. You do not need to formally join. When you go to Kaiwan Hall later, I will guide you. Hearing this, Kunyan happily replied, thank you, Senior Du. I will definitely go to Kaiwan Hall to seek your guidance, Senior Duan. The scene It's now in the teacher's dormitory. Yang Shi exclaimed in surprise. This is actually a beginner talisman master badge. Now you no longer need to hide and practice your cultivation. Grandmaster Wei and the Duke of Yan definitely dare not offend the Kaiwan Hall. It just so happens that I'm going on a long journey to do some things these days. You go to Kaiwan Hall to train, enhance your talisman making skills. After hearing this, Kunyan asked in surprise, Kaiwan Hall actually has such strong power? Even the Empress's forces do not dare? Yang Shi explained. The Kaiwan Palace governs all the Kaiwan masters in the world. It's said to have existed for nearly 10,000 years. Furthermore, the Kaiwan Palace is spread across the 3 empires in several countries. It's not afraid of the constraints of imperial power. It's a very mysterious existence. As long as you can achieve something in the Kaiwan Palace, you will receive its help in the future to take revenge on the Empress. Kunyan replied indignantly after listening. Do not worry, teacher. I will definitely make a name for myself in the Kaiwan Hall. How strong is the male lead now? He smashed a spiritual artifact with one punch. The next day arrived in a flash. Kunyan was walking on the road, suddenly stopped and shouted vigilantly, come out. Stop hiding. As soon as the words fell, several figures appeared before him. It was Yan Zhongmin. He folded his arms and coldly snorted, truly worthy of Kunyan. To actually discover us hiding here? Kunyan looked at him and teased, so it's Yan Zhongmin. Are you here to kill me? But with your strength, I'm afraid. Yan Zhongmin smirked and said, killing you does not require me to lift a finger. As soon as he finished speaking, a large golden bell suddenly fell from above Kunyan's head. With the asterisk dong asterisk, it enveloped him inside. Yan Zhongmin watched on gleefully saying, hee with this spiritual artifact my grandfather gave me, capturing you as a piece of cake. Meanwhile, inside the bell, Kunyan sighed, the world is truly treacherous. I was caught off guard. As the magical artifact emitted a continuous humming sound, Yan Zhongmin looked on and said, this soul-shaking bell not only traps people, but when combined with the soul-shaking hammer, it can pulverize anyone trapped inside into mincemeat. Upon hearing this, the bald man holding the hammer trembled. Let me use the soul-shaking hammer to deal with this trash, he said and swung it down with a whoosh. At that moment, a sonic wave attack suddenly struck him. The bald man instantly spat out a mouthful of blood. He was smashed to the ground. Zhang Lang walked over and said, you are truly despicable. You actually used a spiritual weapon to ambush me. Why did not you just do it openly? Yan Zhongming's face instantly turned pale with cold sweat, and he exclaimed, Zhang Lang, why are you here? Why are you helping Kunyan? Do you know that we are the Empress's people? Do you know what the consequences are of opposing us? Zhang Lang gave a sinister smile and said, dead men tell no tale. Upon hearing this, the other man ran away. This Zhang Lang is a man. Let's escape quickly. Trying to run home. Zhang Lang said, reaching out to unleash a sonic attack. He instantly took the man away. Just as Zhang Lang reached out again, preparing to finish off Yan Zhongming walked to the soul calming bell and said, Zhang Lang, we have no quarrel between us. I do not know why you'd help Kunyan. Do you know how much the bounty on Kunyan is now? 1,000,000 crystal coins. And there's the high office and generous rewards promised by the Empress. Then we can not only split the bounty, but also gain the Empress's favor. Would not that be wonderful? He had not finished speaking, when suddenly a fist landed on his face with a smack. With a bang, he was sent flying. Then there was a loud boom. The soul bell was smashed to pieces by Su Yun, who disdainfully said, you think you can trap me with this genuine spiritual artifact? Your grandpa is really stingy. Fine, I'll give you a mid-grade spiritual artifact then. Zhang Lang looked and laughed. Truly worthy of Kunyan. It seems I was being redundant. It's you? Kunyan looked at him and asked in confusion, why are you here? Zhang Lang explained. I happened to receive a recommendation from the academy to study at the Kaiwan Hall. I just happened to pass by, Kunyan said with a serious face. Then why did you help me? Helping you, I just do not like them? Zhang Lang said, then activated his sonic wave and took Yan Zhongming away. Kunyan was shocked and exclaimed, he's already lost the ability to resist. Why did you still kill him? Zhang Lang replied with a sinister laugh. If he does not die, he'll definitely rat me out upon his return. Now that they're all dead, the Empress will only think you killed them, and your womanly kindness will get you killed. For example, I would stab you in the back. Kunyan coldly snorted after hearing this. If you want to kill me now, then do it quickly. But if you want to go to the Kaiwan Palace with me, then promise me you will not kill people casually. Otherwise, do not blame me for being impolite. Hearing this, Zhang Lang laughed loudly. How I kill you now? Where will I find an opponent with as much potential as you in the future? Alright, let's go. I promise I would not casually kill anyone in the future, unless they attack first. As the two left after an unknown amount of time, a person suddenly arrived at the place where Kunyan had been ambushed. Xiao Yulin looked at the dead men and exclaimed. They were all shaken to death. Could it be that the skill Qin Yun cultivates is actually a demonic art? The male lead formed a team to participate in the Konglong martial arts tournament, but unexpectedly his cultivation was the lowest. In a flash, Qin Yun asked. So you cannot make Kuaiwan? Then what are you doing at the Kuaiwan Hall? Zhang Lang explained. It seems your teacher did not tell you. Now that the Blue Star Palace has descended upon the Qin territory, only the Kuaiwan Hall has the qualification to enter the Star Palace. Talented disciples from all countries have gone to the Kuaiwan Hall in their respective regions, including Zhang Feng, known as the #1 genius of Qin Kun. Qin Yun exclaimed in surprise and asked, Prince Qingfeng. Zhang Lang replied affirmatively. That's right. He should not be much older than you, and now he's already a master at the 7th level of Wudi. I cannot let such an opponent go. To be able to kill a 7th level Wudi expert, Tianqiu is so excited. Ha 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 ha. Kun Yun looked at the surging river before him, speechless. The scene changed. Now the two of them were at the Kuaiwan Hall. Kun Yun looked at the magnificent hall and said, This is the Kuaiwan Hall. Zhang Lang looked around and sighed. So deserted. It seems there's still some time before the Konglong Martial Arts Tournament. Konglong Martial Arts Tournament? Qin Yun asked in confusion. Is there anything else you have not told me? Zhang Lang then explained. To participate in the Konglong Martial Arts competition, you need to participate in the form of a fire team. A team needs at least 3 people. Only the top 3 teams are eligible to enter the Blue Palace. He immediately frowned. But we only have 2 people. There's 1 spot left. What do we do? Should we just grab someone randomly? Forget it, let's go register first. Qin Yun walked and asked. What scheme are you up to again? Can I not team up with you? As the two entered the Kuaiwan Hall, Xiao Yulang caught up and said, Kun Yun, have you actually cultivated demonic arts? I must investigate this thoroughly. In a blink of an eye, they arrived at the registration point. The bearded man looked at them and asked, Are you students from the Hualing Martial Academy, here to participate in the Konglong Martial Arts Tournament? Only 2 of you are not eligible to participate in the Konglong Martial Arts Tournament. The rules of the martial arts tournament require teams of 3 to 5 people. You should quickly find another person and then come back to register. Hearing this, Zhang Lang was in a difficult position. In contrast, Kun Yun happily said, It's fine if we cannot participate. Anyway, I originally only came to learn about the strange patterns. Just then, Xiao Yulin suddenly walked over and said, Are you looking for teammates? I'll join. Kun Yun teaming up with me would not disappoint you. I guarantee we'll be in the top 3 of the martial arts tournament. Kun Yun asked doubtfully, You know me? Xiao Yulan explained. The renowned Qin Yun is famous throughout the entire Qin. Your victory over Wakeshuan Kun has even spread to the Qiangxiao Empire. Zhang Lang reminded at this time. Team up with her. She's a master at the 7th level of martial body realm. What Qin Yun exclaimed in surprise. At such a young age, she's already at the 7th level of martial body realm. Then he turned to Jiang Lang and asked, What level of cultivation have you reached? 7th level of martial body realm. Kun Yun's face turned awkward upon hearing this. My cultivation base is actually the lowest. It feels really bad. At this moment, Jiang Lang said, Alright, we agree to team up with you. However, if your purpose in joining the team is malicious, then I will definitely tear you to shreds. So it's the infamous Jiang Lang? You killed many young experts from the Qiangxiao Empire. We, the Qiangxiao Empire, will settle the score with you sooner or later, Zhang Lang said nonchalantly. So my reputation has already spread far and wide in the Qiangxiao Empire? Kun Yun added with a speechless expression. She means infamously notorious. Zhang Lang interrupted. Okay, now that we have 3 people, we can register. He then said to the bearded man. We can register now, right? The bearded man was surprised. You found someone so quickly. Take these 3 tokens. The Konglong Martial Arts Tournament officially begins in 3 days. Do not be late. Just as the 3 of them took the signs, Kun Yun. By the way, I still do not know your name. My name's Meng Feeling. I'm the Qiangxiao Empire. We will get along very well. Then she turned and left, saying, Nothing. I'll look for you on the day of the martial arts tournament. Watching Xiao Yulin leave, Kun Yun asked doubtfully, She's not staying with us. But speaking of which, where are we staying? Zhang Lang pointed and said, You should be a rune master, right? You can get free lodging at the Kuaiwan Palace by using the rune badge, and includes 3 meals a day. Rune badge? Kun Yun said, taking out the badge and questioning, Does this badge really have such a great effect? Have you ever seen someone save someone by pouring down a whole bottle of pills? It actually worked. The scene Now inside a luxurious room, Kun Yun exclaimed in shock, Wow, you can really stay here for free? Zhang Lang chimed in. Of course. The privileges of a Kuaiwan master are not limited to this. Later, you'll discover the enormous benefits that badge will bring you. After listening, Kun Yun turned and asked, Where do you live? Zhang Lang replied indifferently, Because I do not have a badge, I can only reluctantly stay at your place. Kun Yun was speechless for a moment. I think you teamed up with me just to freeload on food, drinks, and lodging. Zhang Lang dug his ears and replied, No way, renting a house outside is very expensive. I'm still a student. By the way, I have something to do tonight. I'll be back late. Kun Yun looked at him and said through gritted teeth, I have a feeling you're going to do something bad again. The scene Now inside the Kuaiwan Grand Hall, a voice out. Will Kun Yun also participate in the 7th Konglong Martial Arts Tournament? The gray-haired man replied. Yes. He was accompanied by Jiang Lang and a masked woman. Then Crown Prince Qin Zhengfeng smirked wickedly. That boy Qin Yun also wants to get his hands on a spot in the Blue Star Palace. With only a single Yang spiritual vein, he dares to harbor such fantasies. At this time, Wei Yong, who was standing nearby, reminded them. That boy Qin Yun is now cultivated to the martial body realm, 6th level. We absolutely cannot underestimate him. My son Wexuan Kun was also severely injured by that boy. He remains unconscious to this day. I beg your highness to avenge me. After listening, Qin Zhengfeng released his aura and comforted him, saying, Rest assured, I will definitely capture Qin Yun in this martial arts competition. I will extract his remaining spiritual vein. Then I will absorb Qin Yun's spiritual vein. I will then possess the 7 Yang spiritual vein. Then on this continent, I will be invincible among those of the same level. You may all retire. I have some small matters to attend to. We take our leave. The 2 men leave. Qin Zhengfeng calmly said. I wonder what business my friends above have with me. Come down and let's talk. Jiang Lang, perched on the rafters, jested, so quickly discovered. Jiang Lang is my name. I've met the Crown Prince of Qin Qi. Saying this, he jumped down. At this moment, Qin Zhengfeng stood up and said, So it's Jiang Lang. He stood up. Did Qin Yun send you to kill me? That guy Qin Yun does not even have the guts to seek revenge on me himself. After hearing this, Jiang Lang corrected him. Do not get me wrong, I'm not sent by Qin Yun. I just want to verify my own strength, and you are merely a tool for verification. Saying this, he reached out and unleashed a sonic attack. It shot towards Qin Zhengfeng with a whoosh. Child's play. Qin Zhengfeng raised his arm to block in front of him. Suddenly a dazzling golden light surged, accompanied by Jiang Lang's scream. With a loud bang, a huge hole was blown in the roof of the hall. When the dust settled, Qin Zhengfeng looked at the scene before him and chuckled sinisterly. He escaped quick. To escape my full-powered strike, he truly has some skill. The scene shifts to a road, where Jiang Lang is seen walking while clutching his chest, saying, Truly worthy of being the Crown Prince of Qin Kun. It seems I need to break through another level to be able to fight him again. Meanwhile, at Qin Yun's residence, Qin Yun was fast asleep. Suddenly, Jiang Lang pushed open the door and fell to the ground with a thud. Qin Yun was startled and cried out. Upon closer inspection, it was Jiang Lang. Qin Yun looked at Jiang Lang on the bed and thought to himself, Such serious injuries. Who could have beaten him up like this? Did he go to Qin Zhengfeng? Even Jiang Lang, who is so strong, was beaten like this. To what extent has Qin Zhengfeng's strength improved? Such serious injuries require healing medicine. Luckily, I have many spirit medicines in the storage ring I obtained in the Gathering Spirit Array. Thinking this, I immediately took out a box of pills from the storage ring. Let's try this bottle of healing pills first. Saying that, he forced the pill down Jiang Lang's throat. This should be alright, right? Accompanied by the gurgling sound of a bottle of pills going down his throat, Jiang Lang suddenly opened his eyes wide. With a poo, he spat it out, gritting his teeth in anger and saying, Are you trying to choke me to death? Looking at Qin Yun, who was now happily holding the pill bottle, while this medicine is unexpectedly effective, he immediately asked, Qin Zhengfeng's cultivation is the same as yours. How could you be beaten like this? Jiang Lang said seriously. Although he and I are both at the 7th level of martial body realm, he already possesses a 6 Yang spiritual vein. With my current strength, I cannot even withstand a single move from him. Qin Yun asked doubtfully after hearing this, Could it be that Qin Zhengfeng has completely integrated the spiritual vein he obtained from me? Jiang Lang sighed helplessly. Mutual absorption of spiritual veins can only occur between those with blood ties. Your imperial family is truly ruthless. Qin Yun sighed helplessly in response. Alas, my enemies are all my own brothers and sisters. It's truly ironic. At that moment, both of them suddenly exclaimed in surprise. Killing intent? Do not just barge into a girl's room late at night. A chair might just fly at you. Just the 2 sense danger. Suddenly, a red figure burst through the ceiling. It landed on the ground with a loud thud. Who's there? Qin Yun shouted. At this time, the red-haired man spoke. It's great that both of you are here. I am Ming Chong, Fire-Blazing Blade, and I'm here to take your heads under orders. Qin Yun gathered flames in his hand and asked, Were you sent by Qin Zhengfeng? Ming Chong replied, I'm here to kill you under the orders of the Crown Prince. It's your honor to defy my Fire-Blazing Blade. After hearing this, Qin Yun disdainfully said, Do you think you can beat the 2 of us by yourself? Jiang Lang behind him said, I'm seriously injured and unable to fight. I'll leave this person to you. This left Qin Yun speechless. Ming Zhong roared and charged forward. Qin Yun in turn used the Xuan Yang art to meet him. Mere child's play, you cannot hurt me. With a heavy swing, Ming Zhong forced Qin Yun back. So close. Qin Yun landed on the ground with a thud, muttering to himself, If my clothes are damaged, I'll be in trouble. I only brought 1 jacket. Mid-sentence, he noticed a small tear in his clothes. Ming Zhong sneered. Haha, are you so scared you cannot move? Let this old man free you. Saying this, he raised his sword and slashed again. Just as the sword was about to touch Qin Yun, suddenly Ming Zhong was startled. Qin Yun punched Ming Zhong, sending him flying, and angrily said, You ruined my coat. With a crash, Ming Zhong hit the ground. Qin Yun looked at himself anxiously and shouted, What should we do? I have to sue for a long time again. At this time, Jiang Lang reminded, The Crown Prince already knows where we live. We cannot stay here anymore. We must leave. After hearing this, Qin Yun asked doubtfully, Then where will we live? Jiang Lang smirked mischievously. Of course I'm going to stay with my companions. Scene change. Now at the women's dormitory area of Kaiwan Palace, Sao Yulin is bathing in her room. As she bathes, she thinks to herself, I wonder if it's alright that Qin Yun is with that pervert. Suddenly Su Yun and Jiang Lang burst through the door. Excuse us. When Sao Yulin turned around, she saw Qin Yun greeting her with a smile and asking, May I stay the night here? Before he could finish, 2 chairs smashed into their faces. Ouch, they were instantly bruised and swollen. Hao Yulin, having changed her clothes, coldly snorted, Really? Do not just barge into a girl's room. What are you doing here so late? Su Yun awkwardly explained, Kun Jingfeng found our place, and we want to stay here together. Hearing this, Hao Yulin shouted angrily, Are you kidding me? Who would want to stay with you smelly men? Jiang Lang explained, The Konglong martial arts tournament is about to begin. Living together will prevent our opponents from plotting against us. It will be much safer. After listening, Hao Yulin replied, Alright, you can stay in the East Wing, but you'll have to figure out your own meals. I need rest. You may go now. In a flash, the 2 of them sat on the floor of the room, looking helpless and saying, This is not the East Wing, it's clearly a woodshed. This woman really... Blue Star descends upon the world once every 10 years. The founder of the palace, Blue Knight Martial King, widely selected talented and intelligent individuals from various academies to inherit the way of martial arts. The genius disciples from various academies gathered at the Kaiwan Hall to compete for the qualification to enter the Blue Star Palace. At this time, the competition field was already neatly filled with people. Now Dunkan will give a speech. Welcome disciples of Tianqi to the Kaiwan Hall. I am Duyan, the caretaker of the Tianqin branch of the Kaiwan Hall. From now on I will preside over the Kaianlong martial arts competition. As you all know, the purpose of this competition is to determine who will enter the Blue Star Palace. Participants will compete in teams. The content of each team's match will be decided by drawing lots. Therefore, teams proficient in all competition items will have a better chance of reaching the end. Hearing this, someone in the house asked in surprise, Will the content of the competition be decided by drawing lots? Is not the martial arts tournament supposed to be decided by martial strength? Duquan explained. This Konglun martial arts tournament is not just a martial arts competition. There will also be talisman crafting, weapon refining, and alchemy. There will even be competitions in spirit food preparation and knowledge of cultivation. This competition tests the overall strength of each team. Mere strength is not enough to qualify for the Blue Star Palace. I hope everyone achieves excellent results. Now the Crouching Dragon martial arts tournament officially begins. Following Duankind's announcement of the start of the trials, a beautiful woman walked up and said, Finally, it's my turn. Hello everyone. I'm the referee and commentator for this martial arts tournament. Please be kind to me. Everyone look at the energy screen over there. The draw for this martial arts tournament will be completed automatically. There's no need for each group to draw lots in person. Now let's begin the draw. In a flash, we heard the beautiful referee announce, The results are Sangsuan Academy versus Jiguang Martial Academy. The match will be a martial arts duel. Please have both teams come to the stage. With Jiguang Martial Academy taking the stage, the audience gasped in amazement. Wow, it's Jiguang Martial Academy, the newly risen academy these past few years. I heard their captain this time is a master at the 6th level of martial body. But look at Sangsuan Academy, they only sent one person. At this time, the Jiguang Martial Academy captain gritted his teeth in anger and said, Damn it, the Sangsuan Academy only sent one person to fight. You really look down on us. The black-robed man sneered. Just a bunch of trash. Hearing this, the captain angrily shouted, Adi, let's go together and take him down. Qin Yun and the 2 others were walking on the road. XA. I'm really fed up with you all. You guys were sleeping in during such an important competition. I even had to go back and find you, who's responsible for delaying the competition. Qin Yun, his eyes barely opened from sleep, said, It's all your fault for making us sleep in that firewood shed. The ground was cold and hard. I could not help but fall asleep this morning. Hearing this, Xiao Yulin turned and questioned, So it's my fault that we're late, is that it? Never said that. Qin Yun's face instantly paled with cold sweat. At this time Jiang Lang sighed. What if we get picked in the first round? If we miss it, we'll be eliminated directly. After hearing this, Qin Yun unconcernedly said, It does not matter if we miss it. My original purpose was to learn about strange patterns. Hearing this, Xiao Yulin suddenly grabbed Qin Yun and said seriously, Qin Yun, your father and your wife are waiting for you to rescue them. Your grand tutor is waiting for you to clear her name, so you must go to the Blue Star Palace. You must become stronger. This left Qin Yun completely dumbfounded. Wife, where would I get a wife? Jiang Lang standing beside him chuckled softly. Do not you know this guy got dumped by his fiancée? Xiao Yulin turned and left, saying, Your fiancée may have had unavoidable circumstances. In a flash, the 3 of them arrived at the competition venue. Qin Yun looked at the astonishing scene and said, Is this competition already over? Back on the ring. At this moment, the captain gritted his teeth in anger and said, Damn it. I surrender. Please spare my life. At this time, the man in black robe extended a finger, releasing a sonic attack and saying, The weak do not deserve to live. With a loud asterisk boom asterisk, it hit the captain, taking his life. At this moment, Qin Yun looked on in shock and exclaimed, It's actually the same move Jiang Lang used. Then Jiang Lang explained, The reason is simple. Because he is my brother Jiang Feng. My brother was already at the late stage of martial body realm, 7th level, several years ago. Now he's probably already broken through. He has now joined the Sangchuan Academy. It seems our path to victory has another obstacle. Now Yilan. Sangsuan Academy is the #1 academy in Qinghin. Only one person appeared in this competition. Those hidden individuals are even more unfathomable. After hearing what they said, Kunyun thought, it seems winning a top prize in the Kanlong Budokai is truly not easy. The referee announced the start of the second match. The big screen displayed the second group's contestant list. The competition would be a culinary contest. Then the judge made a sweeping gesture. Now please invite the contestants from Hoaling Martial Academy and King Lin Academy to enter the arena. Hearing the competition format, Sai Yulan instantly felt awkward, thinking to herself, why can all the boys cook these days? I do not even know how to rinse rice. In the blink of an eye, the competition area was set up. The referee. The cooking stations are ready. Please come to the stage quickly. Both teams can send one or all members to the stage to use the designated ingredients to make a spirit dish. The judging panel will make the final judgment. As both teams came onto the stage, the red-clothed man from King Lin Academy sneered, haha, he does not look like he can cook. We've won this for sure. But I hold the title of Qingkin's top chef. You're so unlucky to have met me. At this moment Kunyun instructed, Zhang Lang will do the cooking. I'll be in charge of chopping the vegetables. I'm quite confident in my knife skills. Then Xiao Yulin reminded them, Kunyun, this competition is not as simple as cooking. Unexpected things will definitely happen once it officially begins. You have to give it your all. Give it my all, Kunyun thought to himself. What kind of competition is this? An insect that even a cleaver cannot cut through. The male lead actually wants to cut it with his bare hands. As both sides prepared, the referee said, now please present the ingredients needed for the dish. The ingredients both teams need to cook with are Swangia beetle larvae. As everyone knows, Swangia beetles are third-order spirit beasts with incredibly hard shells. To cook them, you not only need superb culinary skills, but also powerful martial arts to break through their shells. Hearing this, the man in red was startled. What, it's actually Swangia beetles? This is trouble. Meanwhile, Zhang Lang pondered. Swangia Chong, literally mysterious armor insect. That's the most resilient creature among spirit beasts. This competition is more difficult than I thought. At that moment, the man in red shouted, Dada, give me the insect. Boss. Dada responded and threw a ribbon, which whipped around the insect with a snap asterisk. With a whoosh, he pulled it in, shouting, Boss, make your move. Watch this, the man in red said, then leaped forward. A clang was heard as the blade hit the insect's shell. The cleaver instantly shattered into pieces with a fizz sound. The man in red looked at his hand, wincing in pain, and cried out, my hand. It shook me so painful. At this time, the bald man looked at Jing Zai and said, Boss's such profound swordsmanship did not even leave a single scratch. It was Kunyun's turn. Kunyun was seen holding a cleaver and shouting, my babies. With a few sound, he chopped at the insect. Instantly, the cleaver cracked. At that moment, Kunyun was stunned and thought to himself, sure enough, I cannot cut it. At this time, the man in red looked at them triumphantly and said, hey, since neither of you can cut it open, it's a draw. Then we can have another contest using other methods. At this time, the referee added, if both sides cannot cut open the Swangia insect, both Sing and Lion will be eliminated. Hearing this, Zhang Lang sighed helplessly. I cannot believe we're going to be eliminated in the first round. Meanwhile, Kunyun looked at the insect and thought, now I can only use my shockwave soul ability, but if I'm discovered, I'll have to secretly hide the shockwave soul ability within my fire soul ability and combine it with the Xuanyang art. One strike will be all it takes. Thinking this, he reached out, activated his skill, and chopped down at the insect. With a chop, he split the insect in two. Watching Kunyun's action, Xiao Yulin was shocked and thought to herself, Kunyun could actually split open even the shell of the Xuangia insect. With only a single Yang spiritual vein, how did he do it? Zhang Lang also looked on in disbelief. This kid actually this strong? I really underestimated him before. Then Suyan swiftly chopped the ingredients. She handed them over and said, Zhang Lang, it's your turn next. Leave it to me. Zhang Lang agreed and started to cook. In a short while, he had prepared the dish. At this time, the judge hurriedly announced, Huling Martial Academy has finally completed the competition dishes. The competition is over. After the 3 tastings ended, the red-clothed man was so shocked that his mouth dropped open. In a flash, the judge announced that the dishes just presented had received unanimous approval from the judging panel. The winner of this round is Martial Academy. At this time, Xiao Yulin reminded Kunyun, our victory this time will surely attract the Crown Prince's attention. We must be careful of the Crown Prince's underhanded tactics in the next round of the competition. After hearing this, Kunyun pondered, will Qin Zhengfeng cheat in the competition? Whatever. We'll deal with whatever comes our way. The scene changes, showing Duan Qian asking in surprise, what? You asked me to manipulate the draw so that Hua Ling Martial Academy and San Xuan Academy would fight each other, Qin Feng affirmed. That's right. This small matter should be a piece of cake for you. After hearing this, Duan Qian coldly snorted, who do you think I am? How dare you interfere with the martial arts competition held by my Kaiwan Hall? Upon hearing this, Kun Zhengfeng's face turned serious and he threatened, are not you afraid of offending the entire Qingqin Empire? Do dear? Haha. A mere Qingqin Empire, I do not give it a second thought. Did not you also disregard him or? Duncan was instantly shocked and said, it's you? I never expected you to join forces with the Tianqin Empire to interfere with the rules of my Kainlong martial arts tournament. At this time, the man in black said, You're wrong. I have no interest in the Kolong Martial Arts Conference, but I am quite fond of your Kaiwan Temple. Hearing this, Wan Qian clenched his fists, releasing his inner energy in anger, and said, So you teamed up to covet my Kaiwan Temple? You're utterly delusional. Seeing this, the man in black roared angrily. You dare attack me, you're courting death? Just as Duan can attack. The black-robed man simply gave him a look, and with a loud bang he exploded. King Feng worriedly asked, Such a commotion might attract others. The black-robed man reassured him, Do not worry. I've taken control of the Kaiwan Palace in Shankin territory. With that big obstacle removed, no one else poses a threat. Sooner or later, all the Kaiwan palaces on the entire continent will be under the jurisdiction of our Blue Star Palace. The scene shifts to the high-level dormitory area. Jiang Feng angrily scolded. Damn it. They secretly altered the rules for the match against the Hualing Martial Academy. This is clearly an attempt to use us to eliminate Qin Yun. The Empress is sitting back and reaping the rewards. What does she think we are? We're not her pawns. A man then comforted him, saying, Jiang Feng, do not get excited. The Empress was not the only one who changed the rules this time. There are people behind her that we cannot afford to offend. Jiang Feng asked in confusion. Do not you even care about a warrior's honor? A woman stood up and said, Let's forget about honor for now. I just did not expect that your brother and my sister are both in Qin Yun's team. Does my sister think no one will recognize her with a mask on? How ridiculous. I'm really curious why your stupid brother and my foolish sister would team up with that good-for-nothing Qin Yun. At the same time, Xia Yulin and Jiang Lang sneezed 7 times in unison and said, It seems someone's talking about us. The next day arrived in a flash. The referee announced, Today the drawing for our first match begins, with the lottery results displayed on the big screen. Shows that Sangxuan Academy will be facing Huling Martial Academy. Seeing this, the audience exclaimed excitedly, Sangxuan Academy again. I did not expect to see Sangxuan Academy slaughtering others again so soon. In a flash, both sides were ready. Cao Yulin saw the opposing Jingzai and exclaimed, You and Mei. Meanwhile, Xiao Yumi greeted. It's been a long time. On this side, Kunyan looked puzzled and asked, That girl seems to be talking to you. Do you know her? Xiao Yulin nervously denied it. Jiang Lang, on the other hand, looked forward to it. It's incredible that I'll be facing my brother so soon. Just thinking about being able to fight him is so exciting. Hearing this, Jiang Feng angrily scolded, Jiang Lang, you family disgrace. Just then, the referee announced that the captains of both sides would now discuss the rules of the competition. As the two captains took the stage, Jiang Feng looked on and praised, You're Qin. I've heard of your exploits. A true hero among youths. Kunyan replied lightly, Not. Let you two decide the rules of our competition. Jiang Feng extended a finger and said, Great, let's take turns competing. Best of 3, how does that sound? After hearing this, Kunyan asked doubtfully, Take turns competing, how do we decide the order? At this time, Jiang Feng explained, First, both sides' female competitors will face off. In the second round, I will compete against your Jiang Lang. Finally, someone on our team became very interested in you. He was the one who fought against you. After hearing this, Kunyan readily agreed. Good, I'll do it according to your rules. As the two returned to their respective sides, Jiang Lang asked, Is it set? How will we compete? Kunyan introduced. Individual match best 2 out of 3. You'll fight your brother. Feeling will fight that girl on the opposite side. And I'll take on the one wearing the hat. At this moment, the referee said, It seems both sides have finished their arrangements. The match begins. The first contestant from Sangxuan Academy is Xiao Yuma. As Xiao Yulin appeared, Xiao Yumi said, Sister, I did not expect we'd be fighting so soon. The last time we fought was 4 years ago. Xiao Yu only replied, You may. Let's just go easy on each other. I do not want to hurt you. Do not want to hurt me. Xiao Yumi's expression turned serious as she replied, Sister, I'm not the weak and vulnerable person I used to be. I was inferior to you in every way before. Now I will defeat you here. I will prove to my father that I have far surpassed you. With that, he unleashed the aura from his body. Seeing this, the audience exclaimed in astonishment, Wow, it's a purple gold martial soul. Truly a rare sight. At this moment, Xiao Yulin looked on in astonishment. You may. You've actually reached the 7th level of martial body realm. Sis, try this move. Xiao Mei said and then launched a purple Lu flame attack. With a whoosh, the attack hit Xiao Yulin. Xiao Yulin was knocked back with a slap. Her mask was also knocked off. Xiao Yumei looked on triumphantly and said, Sister, there's no point in hiding your identity anymore. Then she stepped forward and said, How about it, sister, just admit defeat. Xiao Yulin. You may next time I attack, I will not hold back. Hearing this, Xiao Yumei laughed triumphantly. Ha! Sister, you're really stubborn. Cannot you see that I far surpassed you? Can you dodge this attack? Saying so, she unleashed the purple flame light attack again. The male lead urgently intervened to save Jiang Lang and restore order. Unexpectedly, he was struck into Leifeng Pagoda by the man in black. Accompanied by Xiao Yumei's powerful attack, Xiao Yulin slightly tilted her head and dodged. She dashed Xiao Yumei. A sound was heard. Xiao Yumei's necklace had broken. Xiao Yulin turned and said, Sister, you've lost. You have too many flaws. Impossible. I cannot possibly lose to you. Xiao Yu makes it hard to accept reality and prepares to attack. Suddenly Xiao Yulin appears before her. In her terrified eye, a punch lands in her abdomen. She falls to the ground with a thud. Looking at the fallen Xiao Yulin, Kinyan asks in confusion, Yulin, why are you masked? Do you have some unspeakable hardship? Xiao Yulin replied helplessly, I'll tell you the specific reason later. Now focus on the competition, do not be distracted. Following the victory of the first match by Hualing Martial Academy, Kun Zhangfeng, watching from afar, gritted his teeth and said angrily, what a bunch of good-for-nothings. They actually lost the first match so easily. At this time, the cloaked man comforted him. Rest assured, I will intervene if it comes to that. I will step. The second match, Jiang Feng of Sangchuan Academy versus Jiang Lang of Hualing Martial Academy. As the two stepped onto the stage, Jiang Feng said, Jiang Lang, finally it's our turn. Jiang Lang chuckled and said, Brother, do you really want to kill me that much? Jiang Feng then took out a long sword and said, You betrayed your family and joined the Hualing Martial Academy without permission. You even killed several family elders who tried to stop you. Your crimes are unforgivable. With that, he swiftly swung his blade at Jiang Lang. Jiang Lang raised a finger and unleashed a sonic attack. With the *FUD* sound, Jiang Feng's blade shattered into pieces, and Jiang Lang's attack continued unabated. Powerful blow landed on Jiang Feng. Jiang Feng frowned, gritting his teeth, and said, Hey kid, you're pretty good. Jiang Lang, brother, your abilities are far greater than this. Do not regret this. With that, Jiang Feng's muscles suddenly bulged. With a bang, his aura surged rapidly. Jiang Feng released a sonic wave sword, slashing towards Jiang Lang with a whoosh. Jiang Lang was startled and thought himself, this sonic wave's aura is incredibly strong, it's over, I cannot dodge it. Kunyan, seeing this, exclaimed in alarm. Dangerous? He cannot possibly withstand those 3 moves? Saying this, he leaped forward with a whoosh. With a rumbling sound, Jiang Feng exclaimed, What's going on? Then seeing Qin Yun unleash his shockwave martial soul to block the attack, he said, Brother, I cannot let you kill him. Jiang Lang, weak and worried at this moment, said, Kun Yun, why did you intervene? Do you know what kind of punishment you'll face for disrupting the match? Qian replied seriously, As long as you are still my companion, I cannot ignore your life or death. As the attack disappeared, Jiang Feng exclaimed in shock, I never imagined you had a dual martial soul, and a rare black martial soul at that. Hearing this, Kun Yun was startled and thought to himself, my shockwave martial soul was exposed in a moment of urgency. Suddenly, streaks of yellow energy bound Qin Yun. It was the black-robed man who made the move, accusing him, You dare disrupt the order of the martial arts tournament, you've got some nerve. And you even dared to use demonic arts within the tournament grounds? Your crimes are unforgivable. Disrupting the order of the martial arts tournament, I shall punish you severely. Kun Yun, if anyone is to be punished, it should be the Kaiwan Hall for negligence of duty. What right do you have to punish me? The cloaked figure did not reply. For negligence of duty and dereliction of his post, Duan Khan of the Kaiwan Hall has already been executed by me. What? Qin Yun was startled. Dun Qian has been killed by you? Or exactly, what right do you have to execute Duan Khan? The black-robed man replied calmly, I am Kun Sing, the Grand Elder of the Blue Star Palace. Do you think I do not? Hearing that the other party was the Grand Elder of the Blue Star Palace, everyone present was shocked and exclaimed, Unbelievable, a Blue Star Palace Elder is personally taking action. That Qin Yun guy is finished. Kun Sing said at this time, Kun Yun, your crime is unforgivable. I shall send you to the Heavenly Punishment Tower to repent for 10 years. Accompanied by a rumbling sound, the Heavenly Punishment Tower descended from the sky. Kun said again, The rules of the Heavenly Punishment Tower were established by the ancestor Lang Sao. If one can escape from it by oneself, I can regain my freedom. With this, Kun Yun was sent into the 7 Heavens Punishment Tower. Kun Sing instructed, From now on, if anyone disrupts the martial arts order, Kun Yun will be the example. Hearing this, No, why would it be like this? Jiang Lang came over and comforted me, saying, Do not worry. I believe that Qin Yun will find a way out on his own. This old man the male lead met in the tower has actually been imprisoned in the tower for 300 years. Cut to, Kun Yun, who had been thrown into the tower, sat up and said to himself, This is so unreasonable. Am I already in the tower? Then gritting my teeth in anger, I thought to myself, Blue Star Palace as bastards and Senior Duan Khan. I will definitely avenge you. In the blink of an eye inside the Kaiwan Grand Hall, Kun Zhangfeng was seen laughing heartily. What a satisfying sight. Kun Yun, that bastard, truly got what he deserved. There's no spiritual energy or food inside the Heavenly Punishment Tower. He would have starved to death 10 years ago. But why did not we just kill him at the meeting? Why go through all this trouble? The black-robed man explained. After all, there were so many people at the meeting, we had to consider the impact. We could not just kill him directly. But entering the Heavenly Punishment Tower is no different from a death sentence. After hearing this, Kun Zhengfeng worriedly said, I'm just afraid that Kun Yun is too cunning. What if he's hiding a large amount of food on him? Are we really going to let him out after 10 years? The cloaked man comforted him, saying, Rest assured, with that thing inside the Heavenly Punishment Tower, Kun Yun probably would not even survive 10 days. Meanwhile, inside the tower, Kun Yun walked and said, All bones? Is there no one alive here? I should have put more food and water in my storage ring. I'll die of thirst and hunger sooner or later at this rate. Suddenly a ming 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 sound came from a hole. Kun Yun thought to himself at this moment, The sound is coming from over there. Could there be someone? Let's go see, he said and ran towards that direction. I suddenly jumped, a figure appeared before my eyes. Then Kinyan stepped forward and greeted, "Miss, are you alright?" The moment the beauty turned her head, Kunyan was so scared he rolled his eyes. At that moment the monster bared its fangs and claws, lunging at him. Suddenly a fist struck the monster's head, knocking away. With a thud, he hit the wall behind him and died instantly. Kinyan looked at the bearded man who had made the move and asked questioningly, "You are?" At this time the bearded man reminded him, "Kid, walking around alone in this tower is very dangerous." After hearing this, Kunyan thanked him. "Thank you for saving me. My name is I was just locked up." Meanwhile, the bearded man had reached the monster. He reached out with his bare hands to the two tentacles and said, "I'm just passing by, do not mind me." Kunyan looked on completely dumbfounded and asked, "What are you doing?" "Preparing dinner." Kunyan was startled. "Is this thing edible?" In a flash I saw its tentacles being grilled. The bearded man ate and said, "Seems a little overcooked." Kunyan looked at him and asked, "Do you really survive by eating the meat of these monsters?" The bearded man explained, "This is the only thing edible here. You'll get used to it after eating it for a while. Actually, it tastes pretty good." "Then, old man, how long have you been locked up here?" "Well, it's been at least 300 years. Hearing this, Kunyan was startled. 300 years? To live for 300 years, one must at least have the cultivation of a martial Dao realm. How could you still be imprisoned here? The bearded man chuckled. "Because my cultivation was ruined." Kunyan was speechless, thinking to himself, "Such a tragic thing, he's telling it so happily." Then he sadly said, "With my current cultivation, I cannot possibly escape. Am I really going to die here?" At this time, the bearded man reminded him, "Kid, you need to fill your belly before you think about escaping. If you starve to death, you'll lose everything." Kunyan pondered after hearing this, thinking to himself, "That's right, I need to survive first, then I'll figure out how to escape." Saying this, he opened his mouth wide and began to eat. In a flash, Kunyan asked again, "By the old man, you must have a grievance with the Blue Star Palace to be imprisoned in the Heavenly Punishment Tower. Then you must be very familiar with the Blue Star Palace." The bearded man replied while eating, "Naturally, I know everything about the Blue Star Palace." Kunyan happily asked, "Then, old man, I'd like to ask you about someone. Do you know the Blue Knight Martial King, Lang Xiao Wang?" The bearded man was startled. He then pointed at Kunyan's neck with a snap and questioned, "Speak, who sent you? What is your purpose in seeking Lan Xiao Wang?" Kunyan, covered in cold sweat, explained, "I merely accepted a commission from Senior Lin Binglian to deliver something to Lang Xiao Wang." Lin Binglian, the bearded man, was taken aback. He then released his grip. Kunyan gasped and asked, "Do you know Senior Lin Binglian?" The bearded man sighed and replied, "An old friend from long ago. Is she doing well now?" "What's it like to be brothers with a guy who's lived for 1,000 years?" After hearing the bearded man's question, Kunyan replied, "Senior Lin Binglian passed away nearly 1,000 years ago." The bearded man sighed, "Yes. Unknowingly 1,000 years have already passed, recalling the past truly." Kunyan looked at the bearded man and asked doubtfully, "Uncle, what's wrong with you?" The bearded man turned and smiled. "Nothing. I'm just a little sad to hear news of an old friend." "If I told you I am the Blue Knight Martial King, what would you think?" Kunyan listened, then awkwardly laughed. "That's impossible. How could the Blue Knight Martial King be imprisoned in the Heavenly Punishment Tower established by the Blue Star Palace?" At this time, the bearded man said with self-deprecation, "Hee, that's right. Who would believe that this decrepit old man is the renowned Blue Knight ancestor?" Hearing this, Kunyan asked doubtfully, "You're truly the Blue Knight Martial King? Then how did you end up imprisoned here?" The Blue Knight Martial King recalled, 300 years ago, I was severely injured after failing to break through to the final stage of the Star Sun True Scripture. My strength was reduced to only 10%. When I left seclusion, I was ambushed by a traitor. All my meridians were destroyed. That traitor wanted the Star Sun Scripture's cultivation method, so he did not kill me. He only imprisoned me in the Heavenly Punishment Tower. 300 years have passed. Although my injuries have healed, I've lost all my cultivation. Now I only have the initial stage strength of the martial Dao realm. Far from my former self, I cannot break out of this Heavenly Punishment Tower." After listening, Kunyan took out a jade slip and said, "Old man, this is for you." Lang Xiao Wang took it and was astonished. "It's actually a cultivation manual. You're giving it to me so readily. Are not you afraid I'm an imposter?" Kunyan awkwardly laughed and replied, "Anyway, I'm trapped here and cannot get out. Even if you're an imposter, I'll accept it." Lang Xiao Wang chuckled after hearing this. "What a clever young man. Let me see what's inside." With the infusion of spiritual energy, the jade slip instantly revealed various cultivation techniques and secret manuals. At this time, Lang Xiao Wang looked on in astonishment and said, "These are I never expected that Bingling had recorded all the cultivation techniques I passed on to her." Then he shouted to Kinyan, "Hey kid, this is for you. I like you, kid. All the cultivation techniques inside were created by me. They will be of great help to you." Kunyan was stunned after hearing this and asked, "Is not this the only relic left to you by Senior Lin Binglian?" King Langxiao sighed and replied, "The past is the past. Keeping it only adds to my sorrow." At this time, Kunyan excitedly asked, "Senior, have not you considered cultivating here again to recover and break out of this Heavenly Punishment Tower?" Martial King Lao replied, "There's not a trace of spiritual energy in this Heavenly Punishment Tower. Cultivation's practically impossible. unless you use a spirit formation brimming with spiritual energy or a high-grade spirit medicine containing spiritual energy. Hearing this, Kunyun asked in surprise. Using spirit medicine can also restore cultivation. Lang Xiaowang affirmed. Of course. But where will we find spirit medicine in this heavenly punishment tower? I can only rely on the little spiritual energy I have left to barely survive. The day my spiritual energy is depleted is the day I'll accept my fate. After hearing Marshal King Langshou's words, Kunyun took out a ring and with a flick of his wrist produced a box full of spirit herbs, happily saying, Senior Langxiao, I wonder if these spirit herbs will help you restore your cultivation. Marshal King Langxiao was astonished, his eyes nearly popping out of his head. He could not help but exclaim, wow, so many spirit herbs? These are all top-grade spirit herbs? With your cultivation level, how could you possibly have so many? Kunyun, these are the rewards Senior Lin Binglian gave me for delivering her messages. Upon hearing this, King Langxiao laughed loudly. Ha 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 ha. You little rascal, you actually gave away the rewards others gave you so generously. You're truly just like me, old man. Your name is Kunyun, right? I've decided to take you as my disciple. I will pass on the Star Yang True Scripture to you. Hearing this, Kunyun hesitated, saying, but I already have a master. Lang Xiaowang comforted him, saying, you need not worry. After I pass on the skill to you, we will be brothers from then on. Prepare to receive the inheritance, brother Kunyun. Saying so, he reached out and touched Kunyun's forehead. At this moment, Kunyun felt the shocking Tao. This is the galaxy. The surrounding energy was rushing into Kunyun's body. In a flash, after receiving the inheritance, Kunyun looked at himself and thought, it seems I have an extra power of stars within me. At this time, Lang Xiaowang explained, I have injected a trace of stellar energy into your primordial spirit. This will help you comprehend the rules of the stars. You'll be able to better understand the essence of the star-sun scripture. I will use these spirit medicines to close myself off and recover my cultivation in this period. You must diligently cultivate this star-sun scripture. Kunyun happily thanked him after hearing this. Thank you, Senior Langxiao. No, Brother Langxiao. How powerful is this male lead's elder brother who has lived for thousands of years? He can actually freely control his physical age. The scene changes to a dark prison cell where a voice is heard saying, Kunyun is already imprisoned in the heavenly punishment tower. He's practically as good as dead. You should give up hope. Then Xiao Yulin, a furious, retorted, even without Kunyun, I would never marry you. The one who should give up hope is you. Kun Zhiving then said, Kunyun is no longer the crown prince. Do not forget your identity as Princess Tiangxiao. Only you and I are a perfect match. Xiao Yulin retorted angrily, Kunyun, he will definitely escape from the Tianxing Tower and reclaim his position as crown prince. Kun Zhengfeng Ma. Do not dream. The reins of power in the Qin Qin Empire are firmly in my mother's hands. No one can take my position as crown prince, and I Kun Zhengfeng will obtain whatever I desire. The scene changes to the heavenly punishment tower. Kunyun opens his eyes and exclaims, after practicing this stellar sun scripture, I feel refreshed and invigorated. Brother Langxiao said he's going to the next room for seclusion. I wonder how things are now. Suddenly, with a loud bang, the wall was blown to smithereens. Langxiao, the martial king, walked out and said, Kunyun, my young brother, I've kept you waiting. Kunyun looked at him in surprise and asked, Brother Lang, your appearance. At this moment, Langxiao, the martial king, explained, it's your elixir that restored me to my former state, but my strength has only recovered to 1/10. To defeat the traitor, I need 10 years of seclusion. Otherwise, the moment I leave the heavenly punishment tower, I'll be hunted down by the traitor. With just the two of us, we're no match for him. Kunyun asked doubtfully after hearing this, do we really have to cultivate in the heavenly punishment tower for 10 years? King Langxiao wrote, that's unnecessary. We just need to conceal our auras. Our priority now is to get out of here. Kunyun excitedly asked, how are we going to get out? It's simple. Just a light punch. With that, Lang Xiaowang punched a large hole in the heavenly punishment tower with a loud boom. Lang Xiaowang looked outside and said, it's a wasteland out there. Looks like it'll take us some time to leave. What about Kunyun, my friend, can you fly? Hearing this, Kunyun awkwardly smiled and said, I'm only at the martial body realm. How could it possibly fly? Then I'll take you with me. Saying this, Martial King Langxiao pulled Kunyun and flew away. Slow down. In a flash, Lang Xiaowang landed on the ground with a thud. At this moment, Lang Xiaowang looked around and said lightly, we've arrived. It's Blue Star Palace. Looking over, Suyun was lying on the ground, saying, after flying for so long, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Hearing this, Lang Xiaowang jokingly said, seems your cultivation is still too weak. He mused to himself, but I'll definitely be discovered looking like this. I can only use the rejuvenation technique from the Star Yang scripture to return my body to its youthful state. Although my youthful form will limit many of my abilities, as the technique activated, 3 dazzling lights suddenly appeared. As the technique activated, a dazzling light suddenly appeared. Looking at Lang Xiaowang again, he's completely changed. This left Kunyun completely dumbfounded, exclaiming, my god, you really turned into a child. The miniature Lang Xiaowang scoffed. When you've mastered the Xigying True Scripture, you can also control your physical age as freely, as I do. Hearing this, Kunyun felt awkward and said, should not an old monster like you, who's several hundred years old, have a white beard? Being a child is so strange. How are we going to enter the Blue Star Palace? Langslai, besides recruiting disciples from various academies, the Blue Star Palace also recruits independent cultivators with a certain level of strength from all over the continent. However, the palace has very strict tests for independent cultivators, but even if you fail the test, a few bottles of high-grade spirit medicine as a bribe should solve the problem. Kunyun was speechless after hearing that. Oh, scrub. No wonder you were replaced by a traitor. They soon arrived at a large hall where Langxiao said, "We're here. That's it, the student recruitment office under the Blue Star Palace. You'll have to give it your all then. Denari?" The scene shifts to the Star Spirit Palace. A beautiful woman is fast asleep. "Excuse me," Kunyun approaches and greets her. "Hello, we're here to sign up for the Blue Star Palace." The blonde woman looks at them and says, "You have a handsome and refined appearance. You may go in for a test, but we do not want that child." Langxiao was startled. "What? The rules for the Blue Star Palace test, established by Marshal King Langxiao, did not have an age limit." The male lead easily lifted the huge hammer. His older brother even punched the big drum so hard it flew away. It even dug a trench in the ground. After hearing Langxiao's words, the beauty said, "What Langxiao? Grand Elder Kunsing is the one making the rules now. No children allowed means no children allowed." At this time, Kunyun took out a bottle of pills and said with a chuckle, "Sister, please make an exception. A small token of my appreciation." The blonde beauty exclaimed excitedly, "Wow, it's a high-grade spirit medicine. 2 gentlemen, please go inside for the test." Langxiao walked along the road angrily saying, "This lack of principle. When I was in charge, no one dared to do this." They soon arrived at a large drum. At this time, the blonde beauty introduced, "The test is simple. Just pick up the hammer and be able to ring this star spirit drum to pass." Kunyun stepped forward, looking at it with a startled expression. "What a huge hammer, I'll go first." He gritted his teeth, struggling to lift the hammer, thinking to himself, "Man heavy. I cannot possibly snatch it like this. Looks like I'll have to activate my vibration martial soul to increase my strength." Thinking this, he released his vibration martial soul. Langxiao watched his face a picture of shock. "I never expected this kid to have a shockwave soul." But the blonde beauty has a mischievous smile on her face. "You cannot judge a book by its cover. Shockwave souls are extremely rare. I actually encountered one this time." Now look at Kunyun. He picks up the large hammer and lets out a roar. With asterisk dong asterisk, he hits the drum. The hammer falls to the ground with asterisk pi asterisk sound. Kunyun was already very tired, collapsing on the ground and gasping for breath. At this time, the blonde beauty said, "Congratulations, you passed." Then she turned to Langxiao and said, "Brat, it's your turn." Langxiao did not like this and roared, "Do not call me brat." Then he stepped forward, looking at the big drum and thinking, "Using a hammer is too troublesome. One punch is all it takes." Saying this, he leaped to the drum. Immediately he focused his energy into his fist, shouted, and with asterisk dong asterisk, punched the drum. With a loud asterisk bang asterisk, the large drum was sent flying. Looking again, a long, deep trench had been carved into the courtyard. This display of power left the blonde woman so shocked her jaw dropped. To possess such strength at such a young age. Could it be that he's at the martial Dao realm? The elders in Star Palace would surely be scrambling to take him as a disciple. At this time, Kunyun worriedly asked, "Big brother, is it really a good idea to show off your strength like this?" Langxiao comforted him. "It's alright. I'm precisely trying to show off my strength. This way I can be taken into the inner sect for cultivation. This way I can get close to the higher-ups in Star Palace and eliminate the traitors sooner." Hearing this, Kunyun was startled. "That's too dangerous for you. What if you're discovered by the traitor?" But Langxiao replied sternly, "How can one catch a tiger cub without entering the tiger's lair? You just stay outside Star Palace and cultivate diligently. I'll meet you after I deal with the traitor." "Okay, I'll follow Big Brother's instructions." At this time, the blonde beauty stepped forward and said, "Congratulations to both of you for passing. You're officially disciples of Singong now. May I know your names and where you come from?" Kunyun chuckled and said, "My name is from the Qin Empire." Langxiao, "I'm his younger brother Kun Xiaoyan." After hearing this, the blonde beauty said, "Since you have both passed the test, I will arrange for you to be accepted as disciples by the masters in the Star Palace according to your abilities. First, Xiaoyan, your strength has reached the level of an inner disciple. After some time, an elder will take you as their disciple. They will bring you into the heavenly palace. As for you, Kunyun, although your aptitude is not bad, you've not yet reached the standard to enter the inner sect. However, you're still a promising talent. I will arrange a very good outer sect teacher for you." 3 days. Langxiao was taken to the heavenly palace by an inner sect elder, and was unexpectedly accepted as a disciple by the blonde beauty, Su Ru. The scene shifts to the heavenly punishment tower. Kunsing exclaimed in shock, "What would happen?" The heavenly punishment tower was destroyed from the inside. Could it be that the old thief Lan Xiao escaped? At the same time, the man with 100 whiskers was also astonished. Langxiao has been incapacitated. How is it possible he could break through the heavenly punishment tower? Kunsing instructed, "Do not underestimate that old thief. He must have secretly hidden some treasure that restores his cultivation. You two should immediately return to Star Palace and be on high alert. You must be wary of the old thief breaking in. Grand Elder, since the heavenly punishment tower has been opened, that boy Kinyon should have escaped. Knowing this, I should have killed him on the spot. I need to go in and check." The scene changes to a room. "We're here From today on, this will be your training room. If you need any resources for your cultivation, just ask me. I'll do my best to satisfy you. The master the male lead worships is actually a demon. He has already drained over 100 disciples. Seeing Suru's concern, Kunyun quickly thanked her. Thank you so much, Master Suru. Then Suru instructed again. Also, do not wander around freely within the Star Palace. Your face is unfamiliar. Being seen by the patrol would cause unnecessary trouble. Okay, you should rest. I'll come again tomorrow. Just as Suru closed the door. A mischievous smile appeared on her lips as she muttered to herself. A top-grade black martial soul. At such a young age to possess such extraordinary strength. I have not encountered such extraordinary spiritual energy in a long time. It seems my cultivation can reach a higher level. This Kinyon will become the furnace for my cultivation. I will absorb his oscillating vital energy for my own use. I do not know how long it took. Kinyon was seen walking on the road, talking to himself. This place is really big. I've been walking for 2 hours and have not seen a single person. However, having said that, Teacher Suru makes me take only 10 complete tonic pills all day long and drink kidney tonifying soup. She does not teach me any cultivation methods at all. What is her intention? It's hard to make any progress in cultivation this way. I should just escape from here and return to the Hualing Martial Academy. At that moment I suddenly saw a familiar figure. They both recognized each other's identity at the same time. Xiaoyume stepped forward and questioned. Were not you imprisoned in the Heavenly Punishment Tower? How are you here? Kinyon gave an awkward smile and replied, a few things happened. I escaped from the tower. Hearing this, Xiaoyume exclaimed, you actually managed to escape from that place. You're really tenacious. I underestimated you. Then Kinyon suddenly asked again, by the way, how are your sister and Jiang Lang? Did they also enter the Star Palace? Xiaoyume pointed and said, my sister was taken into the Star Palace by Kun Zhengfeng and is now imprisoned in the Heavenly Palace. Jiang Lang is being hunted by his brother and his whereabouts are unknown. Qian exclaimed in surprise. What Yulan is being held captive by Kun Zhengfeng. We have to go save her. Xiaoyume reminded them at this time. Hey, my sister is Zhengfeng's fiancée now. She would not be harmed. I advise you to give it up. It's impossible between you two, Qian replied seriously. My engagement with your sister has not been dissolved yet. Now she's being held captive by Kun Zhengfeng using strong-arm tactics. I will absolutely not stand idly by. Xiaoyume praised him, saying, you're quite righteous. No wonder my sister keeps thinking about you. Right, what were you doing at Blue Star Palace? Qin Yan. I've become an outer disciple under Master Suru. Suru and Xiaoyume were both startled. It seems you know nothing. Suru's evil reputation is known throughout the entire palace. She specifically targets talented newcomers to take as disciples. But her purpose in taking disciples is not to teach them cultivation techniques, but she cultivates evil skills by absorbing her disciples' elemental power. It is said that she has already drained the life force of more than 100 of her disciples. Kunyan was shocked upon hearing this. Drained. Someone cultivates such evil skills. Does not anyone in the Star Palace care? After hearing this, Xiaoyume explained. The rules within the Star Palace are that as long as one has strength, one has status. They do not interfere with people within the Star Palace cultivating evil methods. Unless she's no longer useful to the Star Palace, someone will naturally punish her. Qian sighed. This place truly is one where the powerful can do as they please. Right? Why are you at the Star Palace? Xiao Yujin. I'm now a disciple of the Blue Star Palace. Naturally I would be here. You're also a disciple of Singong Palace. Hearing this, Kunyan excitedly said. That's wonderful. I want to go to the Heavenly Palace to teach your sister, but I do not know how to enter the Heavenly Palace. Xiaoyume reached out her hand and said, considering your deep affection for my sister, I'll give you a hand. As long as you can completely break away from Suru's influence, I will recommend you to the refining pavilion. If your refining skills impress the Heavenly Palace and they accept you as an inner disciple, you will be taken to the Heavenly Palace. But first you must escape from Suru's clutches. Let's meet here again in 3 days. I hope I can still see you then. The scene changes to nighttime. Qian is shown meditating. At this moment Suru enters and says, An, are you still cultivating this late? Come and rest for a while? I just made some turtle soup. Have some to nourish yourself. Kinyan thought to himself. Soup again, he then replied with an awkward smile. I've been a little bit feverish these past few days. I do not really feel like. Before he could finish, Suru came up and asked, you look flustered. Did something happen? Kunyan was immediately at a loss for words. I do not know anything. Oh, I suddenly feel thirsty. I'll have a drink then. Thank you. At that moment there was a sudden thud. Kunyan collapsed to the ground with a crash. Suru said fiercely, let's see. I was planning to let you stay for a few days, but it seems unnecessary. Continuing the scene, Suru knocked Suyun unconscious. The scene changes to the dungeon. Suru is seen with a wicked smile on her face. Haha, you're mine tonight. Such a promising seedling, what a pity. At that moment, Kunyan suddenly woke up and cried out in alarm. What are you messing around with? Suru then touched Qin Yunyang and laughed. Such a pity. I really hate to kill you. At this moment, Kunyan was covered in cold sweat, his heart pounding, thinking, I've been very careful and on guard. I did not expect her to suddenly attack. My shockwave power could not break free. What kind of skill is this? What material is this hand made of? Suru looked on and teased. Thinking of using the power of tremors to escape. Did not bother. The chains binding your hands are made of Xuanjin. Unless you burn them, they'll never break. Just obediently accept your fate. Become a part of my body. With that, she began to unleash her demonic power. Suddenly, Kunyun's whole body was engulfed in raging flames. Suru was shocked and exclaimed, "Where did the flames come from?" Accompanying the burning flames, the handcuffs melted away with a poof. At this moment, Kunyun thought to himself, "I'm finally free." Thinking this, he instantly used the fire cloud step to escape. Suru, finally realizing what happened, said angrily, "You little rascal, let's see how far you can run." She searched while saying, "Hee. As long as I follow the trail of spiritual energy he left behind while escaping, I can catch him. But I never expected that brat to have a dual spirit. This is truly a gift from heaven." As I passed by Kunyun's residence, I heard the door slam shut. Suru watched and chuckled mischievously. Young people are so inexperienced. He actually hid back in his room. Suru pushed open the door and entered, only to see something lying on the bed. Suru walked over, looked, and exclaimed in surprise, "Is this kid crazy? He's hiding under the covers. He's trying some trick even as death approaches." Saying this, she ripped off the covers. Suddenly, a dummy covered in talismans appeared before them. Suru was startled and exclaimed, "What, these are explosive talismans?" Immediately with a bang, the explosive talismans detonated. From afar, Kunyun thought to himself, "So many explosive talismans should be able to take down that madwoman, right?" As the dust settled, Suru could be seen in a miserable state, cursing, "Damn you, Yen. You actually used such a despicable tactic. I will not let you go." Kunyun was startled. So many explosive talismans could not even kill her, and now Suru is charging towards him. "Where do you think you can hide now? I'll drain you dry, leaving not a single trace behind." Kunyun suddenly took out a thunder talisman. He shouted out with a whoosh. Suru watched and sneered. "Trying to use explosive talismans again? One, she cannot hurt me." Then I was suddenly startled and realized something was wrong. I was immediately electrocuted and cried out angrily, "You think you can kill me with this little lightning? Disperse." At this moment, Kunyun looked at his fist and said angrily, "The thunder talisman cannot even take her down? Then I can only try the Star Yang true scripture my elder brother passed down to me." Saying so, he concentrated his energy in his fist and unleashed the first level of the Star Yang true scripture, attacking. At this moment, Suru stared in shock. What is this seven-colored light? Looks like the legendary martial art of Lang Sao Wu Wang. The Star Yang Jin. As soon as the words left her mouth, a fist struck Suru. Suru spat out a mouthful of watermelon juice. With a loud boom, she flew backward, crashing into the wall behind her, clearly injured. Kunyun watched this, exclaiming in surprise, "I'm going. This stellar sun scripture actually has such great power." In a flash, Yume exclaimed in shock, "You actually managed to defeat Suru? She's a martial body realm 9th level cultivator. How did you do it?" Kunyun awkwardly laughed as he said, "I used some method. In terms of strength, I'm no match for her, but I did cripple a teacher's cultivation here. Will not the people from Star Palace come after me?" After hearing this, Xiao Yume comforted him. "You can rest assured about that. Star Palace will not bother with someone whose cultivation has been crippled. But do you know how to refine weapons?" Kunyun was stunned and said, "Refining weapons, I know nothing about it." Xiao Yume extended a finger and said, "Then there's nothing I can do. The refining pavilion happens to need someone to sweep the floors. You can start there." Hearing sweeping floors, Kunyun was speechless. Scene change. At that moment in the refining pavilion, Kunyun swept the floor while feeling heartbroken and thinking to himself, "I never thought I'd end up as a cleaner. I might as well have gone back to the Hoa Ling Martial Academy. That Xiao Yume from the refining pavilion left me here and disappeared without a trace. I thought I could learn about refining here. The beads my grandmaster left me also contain refining techniques. I really should have studied them properly." Just then, a beautiful woman in purple walked over and called out, "Hey you the sweeper, come in for a sec." The male leads self-taught weapon refinement and managed to forge a 10,000 Jin giant iron into the size of a palm. But Kimilian casually threw it away. Hearing someone calling, Kunyun asked in a daze, "Are you calling me?" The beautiful woman questioned, "Besides you, is there anyone else sweeping here?" Kunyun awkwardly laughed and asked, "I wonder what you want, senior sister." The beautiful woman reached out her hand and said, "My refining workshop is short of an assistant. The only idle person I can find here is you. If you're willing to help me, I can teach you some refining techniques." Hearing this, Kunyun was overjoyed. "Wow, it's like whatever I think of comes true. Is my luck this good?" In a flash, the two were walking on the road, and the beautiful woman asked, "What's your name?" "I am. May I know your name, senior sister?" The beautiful woman replied, "My name is Kimia. May I ask what your martial soul is, junior brother, and what your cultivation level is?" Kian smiled. "I'm only at the 6th level of the martial body realm with a purple gold fire martial soul." What Chameleon's eyes lit up instantly. "A purple gold fire martial soul, heavens, you've truly been kind to me. Fire martial souls are the most suitable for weapon refinement, and it's even purple gold grade. I'm gonna be rich. Come with me quickly." She then pulled Kinyun and ran away. In a flash, they arrived at a secluded courtyard. Hyo said, "This is my refining room." Kunyun exclaimed in surprise, asking, "Does everyone in the refining pavilion have their own refining room?" Chameleon affirmed, "Of course. Refining masters hold a very high status in the Star Palace. Not only does he have his own refining room, but he can also freely obtain the resources needed for refining." As the door opened, Kunyun looked at the scene inside the room and said dejectedly, "It looks like a blacksmith shop." Kaimil then explained. The most important process in refining is forging materials, so blacksmithing is fundamental. After listening, Kunyun asked, then how can I help? I do not know how to refine weapons, Kaimilian introduced. In a few days, it's the Refinement Pavilion's midterm test. The test subject is refining spirit iron. To refine high-quality spirit iron, I cannot do it alone. I was just casually looking for someone to add fuel to the fire, but I did not expect to find someone with a purple gold fire martial soul like you. After listening, Kunyun asked doubtfully, then what do you need me to do? Kaimilian touched a piece of iron and said, help me forge this 10,000 jin piece of iron into the size of a kitchen knife. Kunyun was startled. That's impossible. Seeing this, Kaimilian quickly comforted him. Do not worry, I'll take care of the forging. You just need to use your fire martial soul to help me control the temperature of the fire. This is a basic book on weapon refinement. Take a look at the chapter on quenching first. You do not need to waste time on the other chapters. You will not understand them. Alright, I'll go to sleep for a while. Tomorrow will officially begin. This left Kunyun speechless for a moment. It's so perfunctory, I'm determined to finish the whole book. In a flash, Kunyun was seen reading and complaining at the same time.